might be able to get a little bit extra, which is great. Every worker is just going to be a real hit to that economy. As our Scorps is going to come through, and we do see Mortars now out from Conqueror, going to try and start pushing forwards aggressively. Look at that, the three others, they just don't stop the siege. They just want to move. They want to get very far forward, but this is scary. But we are going to get siege now. Now those Scorpions of Bonan taking a lot of damage. He's going to have his own mortars.
Is too late, though. I feel like he's too late with his own mortars, right? He's really trying to buy some time for his own mortars to protect the third base. Siege, siege, siege. He needs to take out this forward mortar. If he doesn't get this one, he might just lose the game. I think this looks great for Conquerors. He's got one more healthy mortar coming in from the right Wardy. I think we're going to Game 7. I think we are going to Game 7.
Utter destruction there. The mortars, like, they all try to get siege on top of each other and they just get melted. And we are indeed going to get Game 7 between these guys. We are going the distance.
I loved how decisive he played there. He's like, all right, I've gone 2 base tag, you've gone 3 base, I'm gonna get my mortars out quicker, and you already said it. Even when Conqueror was still on his side of the map, look at them mortars go. They weren't sieging. No, one of them sieged, and the other one walked all the way to the edge of the circle to siege and move forward. And then there was kind of a race towards the third base of Boanan. And in the end, it was Conqueror who was able to siege up first with just 1 or 2, and Boanan had a whole bunch of them, but they were all so clumped up. And there were so many Scorpions in the mix as well. Well done. Oh man, what a great series between these two. Awesome battle.
All right, well, we are going to go into game number 7. Wow, I'm super happy, man. Game 7. Distance being made between these guys. We obviously have some great matches still to come as well. So, very exciting. Hell yeah.
Yeah, loving it. I feel like if there is one series where I kind of feel like they both deserve to win, it is this one. These two, a perfect match for one another. Who's gonna get the dub? We saw Clem win his series, we saw Podding win his series, we saw Cuckoo win his series. 4th series. After this game, we are exactly at the halfway point, but we've got 4 more amazing best of 7s coming your way. Players like Stefano, Papi, Demu. It's gonna be fun. Of course, later tonight, some American players as well in Vibe and Theory. Looking forward to those games too. But first, who is going to win our 4th best of 7 and walk away with 150 buckies? And perhaps more importantly, Wadi. Well, nothing is more important than Game 7, but are you excited for tomorrow as well?
Yeah, tomorrow. Have we talked about it with anyone yet?
Tiny bit. We've given out a couple teasers, but everyone that is watching right now, you guys have a chance to also play in one of these best of 7s tomorrow. Just make sure you're a part of the official Battle Aces Discord. Same rules, by the way. If you get selected to play at the bare minimum, you get 50 bucks for playing. If you win the best of 7, you get 150 buckies. We have 8 people lined up, and they will play against 8 members of the Battle Aces Discord, but we'll release some more info later. All right, final round, Wadi. Here we go.
All right, let's hop on into it, as we are going to be into this next and final game. Decks are the same once again, and we will see what happens as Bonan and Conqueror get to Game 7.
Conqueror stopped by the Discord in between Game 6 and Game 7, and he said, you think you can beat the Mortar King? So I think he's willing to play it in the exact same way again if he has to.
I mean, he was very decisive, man. He was very happy to just kind of move straight through towards that. You see the few Scorpions, Bonan, not afraid to just bring Scorpions straight across the map.
Yeah, Bonan definitely needs to pay a tiny bit more attention to his natural, right? Because I do feel throughout this entire best of 7, it really has been Conqueror who has found more success with the tiny Scorpion drive-bys, run-bys, call them whatever you want. As he just always seems to get a couple of workers, and it does really add up.
Scorp's gonna fight a little bit, as we do have an attack immediately from both sides, so both going 2-base tag.
Bonan perhaps learned his lesson. He says, all right, I don't want to find myself in that position again. It's so hard to bridge that gap between your opponent having those mortars out and them running to the other side of the map, and you trying to stall some time, right? Buy time for yourself one way or the other. Well, yeah, if your opponent is decisive, those are just the most difficult 20-30 seconds to overcome.
Or does you need to find a way to like get around them and slow him down? But if your opponent just says, I will not be slowed, and he really was not being slowed. Conqueror's just like, I will walk headfirst into your Scorpions to push these mortars across the map. So actually
look at the minimap.
Yeah, Scorpions everywhere.
Yep, a run by gets deflected over here by Conqueror. Meanwhile, Bonan's natural again, Wadi. We just called it. His natural is very often exposed. Does seem like we have a slightly superior concave here for Bonan. So Bonan doing all right in the center of the map, but losing workers. He's losing so many workers.
Yeah.
Oh.
His Scorpions weren't fighting on the natural, so he's lost half the workers on that base already, and he didn't do anything near that on the base of his opponent. So he's going to be on that disadvantage, and we're going to see instant secondary techs here. Bonan goes snipers, and Conqueror goes to the Falcons. I honestly think if we get a bunch of Falcons out, what's the answer to those? Nothing for a long time. Before it was like, at least you had to like, you know, get to the cap burst before it was scary in the air for Conqueror, but now with the Falcons, I wonder if that's something Bonan actually can answer with just the missile bots.
If he has a full 3-base economy, I would say maybe, right? Let's say snipers come out, they push through those mortars immediately, you take out the 3rd base, and you spam nothing but missile bots, I would believe. 3-base missile bot against 2-base Falcon, I kind of believe. But now our 3-base economy has already been hurting. 8 workers is so freaking many for just 3 Scorpions.
Yeah, it is. Let's just have another big Scorpion setup. There's nothing on the natural right now, no vision to the top, so Bonan cannot see in that direction. Mortars set up in the center. The Scorpions are set as well. We're going to start firing up some shots, and some Scorps take some damage.
Here come our Falcons. The triangle of death.
They really are. They're going to make a nice little double line instead.
Bonan in so much trouble, by the way, Waddy. Once more. I mean, he has no answer for the Falcons in the center of the map, and he's once more going to lose at least 8 workers in his natural. This time it's even a little bit more. Conqueror, the man who took the 2-0 lead, fell to a 3-2 deficit, is actually turning this really his way in Game 7. I don't really see this ending well for Bonan at all, man. Bonan just got outplayed here by Conqueror. There's no other way to put it. Missilebot's actually putting up a really good fighter against the Falcons, but he has taken so much economic damage already.
Those missile bots are doing way better than I thought they were about to. They're going to get back to it right now. Just going to see the Falcons still dropping. A couple of snipers are out to try and help on the ground, but we already lost the 3rd base, so I think it's fair to say that the Falcons have probably done everything they needed to. Now we've got a mortar coming across the map. Well, we do have snipers. They can target that mortar down, and maybe Conqueror should have been turned around already. He's going to end up losing absolutely everything. A few more Scorpions showing up. I don't think they're going to get much further themselves. The snipers are still going.
Stop.
Bonan, yeah, Bonan's got enough. Like, turn around, Conqueror. Stop. Go home. Defend your 3rd base.
Yeah, but he did so much eco damage, right? If Bonan would not have lost those workers a 2nd time over, and he would have had all these guys right now, then maybe you could believe in the weirdest 2-base push of missile bot sniper. As silly as that may sound, it absolutely had some potential. Now I'm afraid economically Bonan just in a tiny bit too much trouble, as Conqueror sets up another Scorpion run by, and once more, Waddy, that natural is mega exposed.
There's just nothing there, and Bonan's just been his Achilles heel all game long. And he's going to lose multiple more workers there again. He's obviously having to rebuild the 3rd base. The difference in income is just absolutely huge. And we've just built more Falcons, saying, I don't believe you can make enough missile bots to actually make that matter. And these Scorpions looking for a surround. Any damage these Scorpions do to missile bots is just one step closer to these Falcons absolutely destroying. As the Falcons move forwards, and yeah, they're just going to shoot at anything they get in range of. It's just going to melt.
Earlier the missile bots did great, but this time around I'm afraid there's just a few too many Falcons. The 3rd base is not even up and running yet before it gets taken out once more. It is Conqueror who wins without a doubt. The best of 7 we've seen today so far, Waddy. It went to distance, it came down to the wire, but in the end it is Conqueror who gets the dub. The most perfect scoreline, I think, of any best of 7. A 2-0 lead into a 3-2 deficit, into a 4-3 win for our German player. GG. Conqueror gets the $150, as Bonan will get $50 for playing this awesome series. Man, what a cool series between these two.
Yeah, it was just awesome. Just through and through. From start to finish, it was just absolutely great games, man. That was really fun.
Run bys, strategy. We had a couple of deck switches as well. We had all the tier 3 techs unlocked. Just fantastic stuff. We saw units shine. We saw units that looked good at first be replaced, like the Mammoths. And really fun series. Incredibly fun series.
Yeah, super awesome stuff. As we're going to be getting into the 2nd half of matches now. Stefano versus Nidix is going to be up next. Then Nicorrect versus DeWalt. And then Pappy versus Demu. And Vibe versus Theory to end out the night. Hey, we have some good games still, mate. There's a lot of good stuff coming through.
Stefano Nidix is actually a banger as well. I'm incredibly excited for that one.
Yeah, well, it's coming up in just a few moments when we get hosted up and everything. As we are gonna, I'm gonna be RB one moment. I'll just leave your voice.
Same, mate.
as well,
my voice is dying. I've been sick since Monday, and today I'm fortunately doing a little bit better, but I can really feel it. So I need to take a tiny break, drink some water, and after that we'll be back and we'll continue our show matches. So I'll see you soon. And let everybody know on stream as well. Yeah, guys, I need to take a tiny break. My voice is actually...
Hello guys, how we doing? Hopefully enjoying the game. It's been pretty fun so far. Oh, Ellie was just here, but she's walked off just as I started talking again, so... Alright, well... hopefully ready to go in just a moment or two. Get ready to kick this off. Stefano Nidix is our next matchup. Just waiting for Roddy to come back. We can go. So a couple moments, get more action on the way here in today's Battle Aces show matches. They've been fun. They have been a lot of fun. Bum, bum, bum. So yeah, halfway through. About half an hour behind schedule. Not too bad. That long series obviously took some time, but that's okay. See what Nidix and Stefano looks like. I think it's going to be actually very interesting. So it's so hard to predict because like you know these names, but then you don't know kind of how good they are. Like it's a different game, right? To like what you usually think of these guys in. So it's a little bit funky in that regard, I suppose.
Alrighty.
Hey, matey.
Hello. Sorry, mate, I'm back.
Yeah, me too. Hello.
How are the nerds looking? Are they ready to battle?
I think Nidix is just, again, reinvited and we're good.
Awesome. Stefano, 12,200 something points. Nidix at the moment, 9,000, but I believe Nidix was earlier very close to 12,000 as well. Maybe he's just been having some fun, trying some new stuff, who knows. I think this is going to be a very exciting series. I don't know, man. Nidix has been pretty bullish on Battle Aces ever since the first day he's been able to play it. I've seen him play, I've seen him hang out in a lot of Twitch streams where people were playing, so yeah, very exciting. I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea about this one.
I was going to say, it's such a weird one, because like you say Nidix and Stefano, and they're two different players from like different eras in my mind, but then in Battle Aces, like anything could happen, right? Like, And what's really fun as well is like I've got no idea what decks these guys are about to come out with. Like, you know, we've seen so many different decks being used throughout so far, so kind of hoping
I
for
expect
more.
Wasp out of Stefano. I
Yeah,
think he's
yeah.
a Wasp player.
And I could get behind that belief.
Yeah. Wasp for Stefano. We have Scorpions coming out of Nidix with missile bots, and Stefano having Blink Hunters as secondary tier 1 unit. Shockers and Destroyers for Stefano, as we have Mortars and Destroyers for Nidix. And then we have Snipers on the side of Nidix, Heavy Ballista on the side of Stefano. Maybe some Cat Boss as well, and even advanced recalls. Alright, cool stuff.
Yeah, gonna be some actually pretty cool units here, so we'll see what happens. As Scorpion Wasp early game is basically don't get your Scorpions surrounded, you're gonna be fine. Wasp should not be able to really do anything here. So just hang back and chill. Generally, this is where Stefano might be able to take a third already. It's very tough for the Scorpion player to kind of get across the map and to deny a third, so yeah, tech from Nidix makes a lot of sense. Mortar Destroyer on the way up, while Stefano does indeed expand.
I've seen a couple of players play Wasp and then still go for 2-base tech, but that seems like such a waste of the Wasp for me, right? All that map control, all that potential. It's like, why are we going 2-base tech with Wasp? I mean, I'm sure there are some very gnarly builds that you can go for, but it just feels like it's the ultimate, I want to get 3 bases quickly, I want to get map control opening unit.
Well, we have the Wasps are going to dive in. This is actually one of the biggest issues with Scorpions, is when these Wasps jump on your workers and you're not immediately in position, because now you lose 8 workers, and then the Wasps are still able to kind of slide out, because it takes so long for the Scorpions to kind of kill them, especially when they're kind of protected by the workers. So,
yeah.
Interesting little moment there as the Wasp not strong enough to maybe take on the third, but threatening enough to still move around and to, you know, start putting some damage onto it. And Stefano going to go Falcons. There's a severe lack of anti-air in Nidix's army, so he's going to, you know, Stefano going to have the air tech is going to be very powerful, I think.
This is almost the moment where we have reached the tipping point where we should have more than enough Scorpions to battle the Wasp everywhere, and obviously Nidix is going to be stronger on the ground, but he's going to lose so many workers. He lost 6 the first time, he's going to lose at least 6 or even 8 this time around. Center base was saved, but yeah, now you force the Mortars to siege up in the natural, and that's obviously just going to give Stefano time, right, to get that tier 2 Starforge stack online. And it's just a matter of time before you see the Falcons. Scorpions are going to be fine here, especially if the Mortars are able to get a single shot off. But I really don't see Nidix walking to the other side of the map with Missile Bot Mortar. Even though it seems like he wants to try, but this is not going to cut it. After losing that many workers, you never have enough money for enough Missile Bots.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's just too expensive, right? Like, you just lose that natural expansion. Just feels like such a big loss. You're not used to playing with that little economy, and Falcons are pretty much unkillable right now with the economy open to you. Some Wasps already set up the counterattack on the natural, maybe even going into the main or third base as well from the bottom side. We don't need Wasps in the middle of the map because the Falcons will just get the job done. And yeah, this is bad. The missile bots that are spawning are going to get caught by those Wasps as well, so that's going to suck even more as, yeah, the Falcons are wasting absolutely no time. Just continuing to go across the map, letting the Wasps do their work, killing workers, still in the base. The Scorpions are going to get active, but Reinforcements should deal with that, and Stefano complete and total control of game 1.
Yep. Complete domination coming out of Stefano. Looks incredibly strong here. Nidix is going to have to switch it up. Maybe he will just be kicking himself for being out of position a little bit and allowing the Wasp to get on top of his workers. The first time around, maybe he feels that's where it went wrong, and he can try it one more time with this setup, but this was a little too easy for Stefano. It should never be that easy. Just dealt a lot of economic damage and had the right tech choice, obviously. Nidix was forced to reveal his tech choice first, because he did not want to go up to 3 bases in that Scorpion versus Wasp battle. Yeah, I think what you mentioned is incredibly important. Scorpions can be very good in preventing Wasps from getting on your workers, but if they're already there and they already get in the midst of it, yeah, then these Scorpions, you kind of get blocked by your own workers, right? And you can't easily kill all these Wasps anymore, because you don't have any range damage. It almost felt that at that point it was already game over.
Yeah, no, you just can't. The thing is, Wasps are so momentum-based as well, and because they're guaranteed that faster third base, you just can't let them kill, like, half your mineral line, because it's just going to kind of completely snowball from there, so you gotta, at some point, just be ready to have those Scorpions just in front of your base, because, yeah, once the Wasps have that full surround on the workers, that's when it all goes wrong. Just can't let that happen.
Nidix still believes in his opening, as he has not decided to switch any units out, so he will probably just see that as, well, that was an execution error. I can do better. I believe in my units. I just need to make sure that I don't lose that many workers. Stefano obviously is not going to change anything, because he's just going to look for the exact same outcome.
Yeah, I need to mix up what's already working for you. I wonder if I mean, Stefano's entire deck only has the Blink Hunters as anti-air. If Nidix gets to that later stage, I wonder what he could do just to... I mean, I understand the Blink Hunters can be okay, but I still have issues kind of believing in the Blink Hunters if there was like some proper air units in this game. I guess Stefano's plans just never let anyone get to that stage anyway, so...
Yep, Stefano is still an incredibly quick RTS player after all these years. One of the most successful StarCraft 2 players of all time. And obviously, we know him for his roaches, but he was pretty damn good with the Zerglings as well. And Wasp, well, they're gonna feel very familiar to him.
Absolutely. Quick moving all over the map. We again see the setup here. Nidix has Heavy Hunter in his build now. Did he have Heavy Hunter before, or was it Destroyer?
I think it was Destroyer.
Yeah, I think he swapped out a Heavy Hunter, which is interesting because that's a real anti-air unit, and so obviously that's going to give you the answer to the Falcons a little bit. So, yeah, perfect position this time on the Scorpions on the top side, but now the Wasps come in from the bottom. The Scorpions from the bottom side, from the main base, need to start turning across. A lot of them are chasing 2 Wasps down, and we are going to start losing a few workers, but at least this time it's going to come at a bit more of a cost from Stefano. He's going to lose more Wasps in the process, and he only kills 3 workers in total. The difference of positioning is absolutely huge from that game 1 to game 2.
Spot on. Previous game he lost 6 and he barely killed any wasp for it. I mean, he got a couple, but really not that many. Now we killed way more wasp, and instead of 6 workers, we only lost 3. So a better early game by Nidix this time around, as he safely makes it up to the mortars. He's going to send the first 3 mortars to the center. I'd love to see 1 mortar in the main, 1 mortar in the natural. I know it's expensive. As the Wasp, by the way, Stefano going to turn around. Stefano feels that he can take this fight against the Scorpions. And with the quicker reinforcements, he may very well be onto something. What a great fight by Stefano here.
So many Scorpions getting caught. However, they are going to see the Mortars again in position across the maps. They're going to start getting in position on the third. The Mortars now in position defensively to the third base of Nidix. Maybe in some trouble. A reinforcing Mortar gets caught as well, so those Wasps able to get a grab. As now, we have the Mammoths, so they're going to just say, okay, you're building... Yeah, okay.
Wow.
They don't take damage to the Mortars, and the Heavy Hunters shouldn't do any damage to them either, so there's actually not a great answer now. Ouch.
They are so tanky, man. Holy smokes.
That's the power of the Starforge, with the combination of a strong air unit and a strong ground unit, right? Wow. So, because like last game, if we built Mammoths, the Destroyers would have been the right thing to have in the deck, but now that there's Heavy Hunters in the deck, you build the Mammoths instead of Falcons. Yeah. Yeah, just cool kind of strategy from Stefano. His deck so far absolutely delivering for him and giving him choices in each situation. And he's going to crush this fight currently, and he might even just target down the third base before he gets out of here.
Yep, absolutely. Why not, right? These Mammoths are going to be tanky. Scorpions are not going to kill them in time. We have a few more Mortars showing up, and sure, the Mortars absolutely obliterate the Wasp. And maybe if we had a few more Scorpions in the center to just protect our Mortars, all of those fights would have gone so much better. Because the Mammoths don't have a lot of range, and normally they should struggle getting on top of Mortars. But I think it's that Wasp turnaround fight that Stefano took in the top side, right? Or at least above the natural of Nidix, where he really turned this game around. He made it seem like he wanted to go for the natural. Nidix was chasing him, then he turns around and he fights it with reinforcements, gets a perfect surround, and now we're looking at 4 base Stefano against 2 base Nidix.
Yeah, Stefano doing the right thing, which is if you can afford a 4th base, just put it down. Just like, if you got control like this, it's just a guaranteed way to give you so much more of an advantage in the game. So I always love that. That's my philosophy too. Just get that 4th base down if you can afford to. Because especially against Mortars, sometimes you just don't want to keep on pushing in. But yeah, obviously Stefano has, if he wants to, realistically, probably just go, I guess you don't really want to go Capos against the potential Heavy Hunters, but you could even switch into some ground stuff. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe he just keeps on going with what he's got.
Yeah, I think going with what you got currently is not bad. Even though if the mortar count increases, though, it does get a little bit scary as Stefano is going to poke the front line of the mortars, as he's also getting into the soft underbelly of this army. But eventually these mortars should clean it up, or will they ever? Oh. Man, Mammoths are ridiculously tanky. They just keep on going, and that's going to do it, man. That's a 2-0 lead for Stefano. It's just all over Nidix so far in this best of 7.
Yep. It's going to be Stefano. As this really was. I mean, this is just the economy, right? You can afford so many Mammoths that you can just run them in. They weren't taking a lot of damage anyways. But yeah, you could just absolutely continue to overwhelm through, and Stefano wastes no time to take a 2-0 lead.
And now it's difficult for Nidix, because what do you do? If you swap out the Heavy Hunter again and you go back into something that is also very tanky or is good against Mammoths, yeah, then you have to worry about the Falcons again. Maybe.
I think this is where maybe like Nidix's deck is just like doesn't have as good a broad like set of options as Stefano's, so maybe Nidix even just goes for like a bigger deck change, right? Because right now, Stefano's deck absolutely seems to have good answers to pretty much the main options Nyx is going for, unless Nyx switches up and maybe goes air. Not seen that route yet, so possibilities.
It's just so hard to play air if you're the one who's going to tech first, because Stefano is going to be richer, right? And if it turns into air versus air, then it seems like it's going to favor Stefano more often than not. Even if Stefano doesn't have strong air units right now that can actually battle air. But yeah, that seems risky. Very curious to see what decision Nyx will make. Nyx clearly is going to have to switch it up. The early game was a bit better in game 2. Did a good job in keeping his workers around, but yeah, maybe he'll just be kicking himself for that one Scorpion fight above his natural, where he got fully surrounded by all the wasps from Stefano.
Yeah, I think if you have those Scorpions, at least it potentially looks different. Nyx completely changes it up. He's going to go Wasp, Gunbot, so we're going to see the trigger kind of set up. This is something that Trigger kind of started doing on day 1 of the beta coming up, and he just stuck with it ever since, it feels like.
And now it feels like we're going to see Stefano actually play some shockers. We're going to see shockers in action.
Yeah, absolutely, because those shockers should be great against wasps and against the gunbot. So then you have to figure out what you're going to do tech-wise to deal with shockers potentially. I don't think the air tech is really going to be an option here for Nyx. Looking at it, I don't think any of that really deals with shockers very well. So probably ground tech from him and just hoping the mortars can hold enough ground.
Yeah, it almost feels that if Stefano would have snipers as well as tier 3, then I would still absolutely love this for him. But without snipers, I mean, Heavy Ballista would absolutely struggle against Sniper Mortar. Well, let's see. Let's see if Nyx can hold his own here in the early game. As Stefano has gone for 2 base. He goes 2 base, stack, Foundry. We've got Shockers and Destroyers going to come online. As Nyx is going to be forced to somehow find a way to buy a lot of time to get his 3 base setup going.
Yeah, Wasps running around all over the place at the moment. A couple of different skirmishes starting to break out as we slice and dice one another up. And yeah, Nyx now probably has to start his tech pretty quickly here, because right now his army is not going to last.
He needs to now.
Yeah, he needs to go
air
ASAP.
even? Maybe airship? Who knows? Like, because the only anti-air, I mean, airship is not great against tier 1 anti-air, obviously. Now he goes mortars. I mean, alright, good luck. Exposed natural, by the way. Tiny run by Stefano is so far out multitasking Nyx a little bit. It's a couple of workers, Waddy. That's painful for Nyx.
4 workers going down. We're going to see probably 5, I think. That Wasp on the bottom side gets another, so yeah, 5 workers going down. It really just impacts you so much, especially in terms of the tech units you can afford. It always feels so difficult once you've just lost a few workers. Stefano's going to jump on the workers on the 3rd base as well, and he'll happily trade Wasp for workers right now. That's always a good trade for him. Stefano's just doing so much right here, and it doesn't even feel like his Wasp count is degraded, as now we've got Shockers taken to the field, a Destroyer as well, and we are still, a crucial 20 seconds away from the tech of Nyx taken to the field.
Oh, yeah. And those are 20 incredibly long seconds. I don't really see a way that Nyx keeps the 3rd base alive. If he does somehow find a way, I'm going to be incredibly impressed. But Shockers are so freaking good. And I love the aggressive positioning here as well, because why not? Okay, you do need to make sure you protect him a little bit. One Shocker goes down. Nyx has gone for a big counter, but Stefano has an answer for it. Just like he's had an answer pretty much for every single thing that Nyx has tried so far in this best of 7. And Nyx is now once more a 2-base player.
Yes, he is. Just going to try and re-expand here. The Destroyer is going to be nearby. Don't do as much damage to the bases as they used to, but it's still pretty beastie. As the Wasps are going to hit the wide open natural. Mortars are on their way over here. Wasps are going to just commit. No, they're going to decide to get out of there once the Mortars are seen. The Mortars obviously do a lot of damage. But of course, Stefano, I mean, he's not really mining off the full natural right now. He lost about half the workers there, but he has got that full 3rd base up while his opponent does not. So generally is just mining so much better off for the moment. And that is such a big deal.
He's stacking up to air again. How do you feel about it? Do you think it's for Mammoths, or do you think it might be Mammoths again, because they're so tanky against mortars?
I like it, honestly. I feel like it makes sense to have the Shockers there, but then the Mammoths deal with the Mortars, and you've got the Shockers for the Wasps, and I think you've just got a bit of everything for everything, right? He's in no rush right now. He sets back, starts a 4th base as well. Yeah, I think he's just getting an answer to everything he feels he needs an answer for.
Oop, needs to be careful with his Shockers. Does get 1 or 2 hits off, but lost 1 of them as he stepped in range of the circle. At least Nyx still has what feels like an army that can absolutely fight, that can dream. We've got 6 or 7 mammoths being rallied to the center of the map. Will Stefano be willing to step into all these circles, though, or is he just going to wait until Nyx comes to him?
That's a good question, right? I mean, I almost wonder what the late game looks like, because it feels like we're getting to enough mortars that if Stefano doesn't do something, Nyx has a 4th base as well, and then And then where do we go from there? So maybe Stefano does feel the need to fight. Also,
He's gonna
Nidix is
crush, I
very, he's very spread out. So maybe I was going to say if Stefano focuses one place, maybe that could be a factor. Here we go. He's going to come in from the top side. He's actually just going to say, we've got a pathway towards the upper left base. Maybe we go for that. There's going to be Mammoths on the bottom side just diving on mortars that do not have support. So yeah, just all over the map, Stefano, and he's just going to get so much value from the Mammoths again.
Beautiful flank there by Stefano, knowing that it's just mortars that's left behind. Finds 2 more that were just produced. Nidix having an incredibly tough time. Nidix probably felt the urge that he had to go up to 4 bases. Thought he had enough mortars to justify that choice. But right when he tried to spread himself thin across the entire center of the map, it is Stefano who finds an opening in the top and bottom side. A beautiful flank, and just like that, it is Stefano who takes a 3-0 lead. And Wardy, he looks damn good at this game because Nidix is strong, man. He has played a crazy amount of battle aces. I've seen Nidix hang with the very best, but Stefano looks amazing so far.
He's freaking good, man. Like, he's really freaking good. But, not really anything else to say. Just he is just absolutely, like, I played Nidix a couple of times. Dude's a freaking beast. It's not even funny. And then Stefano's just like wiping the floor with him.
Same. I am incredibly impressed. I thought obviously Stefano, just like someone like Ben, Damu, incredibly natural, talented video gamer, and these guys, they just seem to be good at everything they get going and they start, and it doesn't really matter what it is. But yeah, Nidix has been playing so much, it looked really good against many other players. Stefano, an absolute animal at the moment. Well done. This has a great grasp on this best of 7. And if you're Nidix right now, you start feeling a little bit desperate, right? Because there are so many things to worry about. It's not just the Wasp battles or the Wasp run bys that you have to worry about, or that air transition that you know it's coming. It's always scary when they have units like Mammoths as tier 2 Star Forge, because you worry about air, you worry about ground, and it's crazy how strong these Mammoths are against the mortars. It's an awesome way to break mortar lines, though, that's for sure.
I didn't realize they were so good against mortars, to be honest.
Same. I knew that they were tanky, but I really did not think they were this freaking tanky, that they can just clearly jump on top of 5 mortars with 5 mammoths. Like, I did not know that was possible, but holy smokes, they're good.
Next is going to go recall on the basic units now. So as advanced recall, actually has Shocker in the, what's the one on the far right of Nix is like called? I forgot. It's called the,
Airship? Or you mean a behemoth?
Yeah, the behemoth. That's what I was thinking of. I thought it was behemoth, but I'm just not sure. Yeah, that's...
Yeah, they are... It's funny because they're kind of tanky, but they don't deal crazy damage. But I have seen people run behemoth and heavy ballista, where the behemoths just tank everything and then heavy ballistas destroy everything in the back. I've lost against a couple of people who just sit on 2 bases, go double tier 3 foundry, and they just wreck you.
Well, recalls just need to be making sure that you not get surrounded by the wasps. It's the last thing you want to have happening. And so you are trying to poke forward. Of course, you can always recall away, so there's not an ultimate threat. And that's why you can push out like this, because you can even recall back to the natural if needed. And you don't struggle as much clearing up the wasps on a natural attack, like the Scorpions did in that earlier game. Just going to recall here, and Stefano knows that, so he just backs away. He knows that's not a good trade to try and commit 4 workers on.
No. So Nidix, the only tier 2 unit he has on Foundry is the Shocker at the moment. But yeah, obviously Recall Shocker is amazingly good against Wasp. Like Wasp just cannot even get in range. So Stefano is going to have to transition out of them very quickly. Is once more going to go for Starforge, where he can make Falcons, he can make Mammoths. He might be able to get on top of a couple of workers now. And if Stefano can just get 6 or 7, don't forget this is a 2-base setup from Nidix. So losing workers on a 2-base setup is so painful. And what, he doesn't just lose some workers, he loses 9 of them.
Yep, that's a lot of workers going down.
11 even, sorry.
Yeah.
12!
12, I think, yeah.
Jeez.
Well,
Man, that's...
he's going to have this push, and this push needs to find so much value before the air units come out. I mean, realistically talking about at least killing the 3rd base, because he's taking so much on the natural, and he keeps turning around to chase down Wasps, and I get it, but you got to go, you got to do damage. I think this is rough for Nidix already. The Falcons are going to start spawning soon, or whatever we want to build against this. I mean, Falcons are an answer, right? Because there's not really much anti-air. Nidix is on his way to tier 2 Foundry, but I mean, he's leaving the 3rd base alive. He's chasing Wasp with Shockers.
He's going to lose his. He's going to lose his Shockers, man. They're so slow. At this point, maybe you can just send 1 forward and hope that you obliterate the worker line, so at least Stefano cannot get any advantage of his tier 3, but whatever timing we tried to go for, it did not work out. We lost way too much. I mean, he does have tier 3, we at least have some anti-air, right? We have the advanced blinks, so...
Yeah, advanced blinks are actually pretty cool, so maybe they can be something of an answer, but it's the income difference. Like, we've only just gone back to essentially 2 bases as Nidix with the workers coming back online, while Stefano's just been sitting on 3 bases this entire time. He's got way more stuff. His composition is great. He's got a second set of tech coming online himself.
Yeah.
Here we go. This is the advanced blinks and a Behemoth to try and make a push across the map as we're still going to commit to these 2 bases.
Yeah, I don't hate that, because I actually think he's too far behind for 3 bases, and Stefano is going to get destroyers in the near future, so it kind of feels like it's now or never for Nidix. Let's see if Nidix can get a point on the board. You don't want to block your own struck, because Stefano really cannot get any value of his ground army at all. So I do think the 3rd base is in danger, but do we have enough anti-air to deal with all these Falcons? Because if I'm Stefano, I think I just spent all my money on Falcons, as he could go for another run-by. 3rd bases should fall, but who's winning the battle? Is it the advanced blinks or is it the Falcons? It seems like it's the Falcons.
Yeah, there's a few advanced blinks actually reinforcing as well. Now the Falcons are going to turn around and go try and clean up this army. Stefano can start to make a little bit more on the ground as well, perhaps. Because once this ground army's getting knocked down, his own ground army's going to become that much better, right? As the question is, does he even need a ground army? Because at the moment, the advanced blinks are just not doing enough. We have got Stefano also counter-attacking. He's killed once again 10, 11 workers on that natural expansion. So the counter-attack during this is just so deadly. And Stefano still has an eco advantage. And now advanced blinks getting chased down by wasps as well.
That's actually a real shame, though, because if Nidix would have left like 1 recall, 1 shocker behind, those wasps, they cannot get anything done, right? A single shocker will just completely shut down these wasp run-bys, as they would get absolutely obliterated. And then maybe it wasn't that bad, right? Because it's tier 3, 2 base against 2 base for Stefano. Stefano is not going to rebuild. While we blink forward, we're going to try to get underneath these Falcons. It's risky, by the way, because there are obviously still some wasp around. Did he leave units behind this time around? Yes. Plenty of recallers. Well, he should be fine here.
Yeah, the shocker's very good. Again, a couple shots off should be enough as we recall to the main base as well. And some of the advanced blinks just making sure they don't get caught. The wasps actually turned onto them and took some damage. Some more wasps going down as Stefano re-establishing this 3rd. Kind of puts the pressure on Nidix to make one big push once again. Down about 30 supply. Does he just have the composition? Does he have an answer to those Falcons? I don't think so. With the shockers underneath now especially, I think the blinks are going to struggle.
Yeah, that is the problem, right? It's the positioning. I think technically his army is good enough to take care of the air here, but it's obviously the rest that Stefano has to work with. Stefano does not have a single destroyer, I believe, or he does have the tech unlocked, and I think 1 or 2 destroyers here would be very useful as he sets up another very big wasp run by. A single recall is obviously never going to cut it, so we're going to have to do a little more. He's going to now have to recall everything, but now he's kind of missing those recallers in the center of the map. The advanced blinks are going to be in trouble, but reinforcements have shown up. He's going to blink away from the shockers. Stefano should have maybe moved his Falcons here, but he's not going to do it. Just so confident that this is the right fight to take, and he ain't wrong.
Yeah, it was a little bit scary, but he had a bunch of money banked up. He's going to reinforce once again. Again, he is the player with the 3rd base online, so he can rebuild a little bit more easily. Those few workers going down from Nidix continue to just eat into everything he can do and afford. And that's going to be the problem is, well, the advanced blinks still trying to just lead the charge forwards. A few shockers on the ground absolutely will work wonders against those advanced blinks and the recallers. And that's just helping those Falcons to kind of keep the numbers advantage. As the recallers actually have to recall away and Nidix goes running, but you're running away from a 3-base player.
Yep, he knows it, but I mean, what else can he do, right? He's going to go up to 3 bases himself now, but that's going to take a little while before Nidix can get any value of that. It seems that Stefano is just a little too damn good already in battle aces, a little too powerful here for Nidix. I like what Nidix tried there in the final game. I actually feel like this is the closest that he got. And there were maybe 1 or 2 moments where if he lost a few less workers in his natural, he would have had enough units in the center to keep on pushing and actually take out all these Falcons. Don't forget, Falcons are damn slow, right? So if advanced blinks actually find a favorable fight, there's a good chance that you can really punish the Falcon player and kill each and every single one of them. But was not meant to be what. It seems like we are looking at a 4-0. We had Clem getting a 4-0 over Lorimbo. We have Stefano getting a 4-0 here over Nidix. Impressive by Stefano.
Yeah, just cancels the 3rd base. Doesn't necessarily need to be here anymore, so can start to just fall back a little bit. As it's less and less every time from Nidix, though. And this time, there's just nothing to really stop these wasps from coming in for the surround. We're just going to blink forward and blaze of glory to try and go out with something, but there's nothing there. And that's it. Stefano 4-0. Just a bit too good.
You name the RTS, and that boy is going to be good at it. Even though he's no longer a boy, he's becoming an old man at this point. He left esports behind a little while ago, but I think there is a good chance we'll see a little more of him in this one, buddy. because he looks damn good. He's mostly been in the shadows. People that have been watching streams have obviously seen his name pop up, but I haven't really seen Stefano stream himself or anything. But damn, awesome to see him play, and he looked fantastic. There's no other. I feel like there's nothing really else to add. Linux is good at this game. We know he's good, but Stefano just played awesome.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. There's nothing else to say there. It's just Stefano played a great matchup, and I think he had a. I think Nidix was almost like just couldn't figure out how his deck was meant to play against Stefano's deck, and obviously that doesn't help. And then each game you're falling a little bit behind, so it's hard to kind of say, am I dying because of my deck, or am I dying because I'm just like not getting a good enough start because the Wasps are doing so much? Like, these are very difficult questions to kind of figure out on the fly, right? And yeah, Stefano just too, like you say, he was getting better at the end. He finally got himself into kind of a later game, had a better plan. That army maybe could have done it. He just didn't have a good way to kind of get the blinks properly into the fight, I don't think.
I think there was the one run by where if he left a single shocker with a single recaller behind, we would have not lost 8 or 10 workers, and then perhaps we would have had enough advanced blinks, or we would have had enough recallers in the center to actually properly crush the fight, and then maybe we can blink forward, get a couple of the Falcons as well, and then he can always retreat and go 3 bases himself. But you can't really go 3 bases if you're losing your workers in your natural over and over again. But yeah, it's hard because there are so many moments where you're like, did I lose because I was out of position, or did I lose because of my deck? And then you have to make that choice. Do I switch it up, or do I just try to do the same thing but try to do it better? I think that is a dilemma that a lot of Battle Aces players are going to face in the future. And sometimes it's A, sometimes it's B, right?
It's going to be definitely one of those dynamics we have to figure out in a big way. Like I say, even just, a lot of these guys have, been playing, a lot the last couple of weeks. But how many of these guys have really sat down and played, like, a best of 3 or best of 5, or like queued into other people like in custom games? Because yeah, you might play against someone on the ladder 3-4 times in a row, but you don't know you're about to play against the same guy, right? So you don't edit your deck in such a way to kind of think of that. So yeah, that's
it's new. It's uncharted territory, but that's what also makes it very fun for us. And obviously in the future there may be certain rules and everybody's going to be a bit more familiar with this, but it's still fun to run a day like this and just see how people go about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so next up we have Nicorakt versus the Walt. If I'm not mistaken, 2 Russian players. I've seen the Walt just active in the Battle Aces Discord. I've seen him pop up on streams as well. Seems to be a guy who's really enjoying the game, and I just thought we shoot him an invite. Nicorakt, I don't think has played crazy much yet, but obviously he's a player that you're also very familiar with.
Yeah, Nicorakt obviously just plays a lot of SE2, plays in a lot of the cups. It's fascinating to see what sort of style he will bring to Battle Aces, because as an SE2, he's not the most aggressive player out there, but he's a pretty active Terran, right? Like he's quite often on the map, he's looking with those drops.
For sure.
So yeah, and then Diralt is someone who I'm actually not as aware of, but also has a StarCraft 2 history, I believe.
Yeah, mostly Brood War, I think, these days, but maybe played a tiny bit of StarCraft, I don't know, or a lot of StarCraft 2 even. At least 2 guys that are no stranger to RTS, and that seem to be enjoying Battle Aces. Yeah, your guess is as good as mine here, Wadi. I think the Vault maybe has played a little bit more, but I have always thought that Nicorakt is a pretty damn talented individual, and maybe just a little unlucky that he's playing in the wrong era of StarCraft.
Yeah.
Because if he would have had his skill 12 years ago, I feel like he would have been a very well-known player that a lot of people would have been very fond of.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. He's definitely one of those guys to kind of keep at it as well, so... Yeah. Let's see how he does in Battle Aces. We're just waiting for one more ready up. It just happened, so we should be in game momentarily to keep the games coming. We've got 3 best of 7s remaining. This one, and then Demu's going to come and play some games for us. And then we've got Fury and Vibe at the end as well. Some fun times, man.
Yeah, I think Demo against Papi is going to be amazing, but I hope this one is going to be fun as well. Let's see what we are working with. We've got Recallers coming out of the vault with Blink Hunters, Mortars, and double tier 3 Foundry, by the way. Oh, that's a gnarly combo, man. That's the combo that I've really struggled with, by the way. I've had 4 bases against 2, but dealing with heavy ballista and Behemoth is so hard. Nicorakt is a Wasp enjoyer, apparently.
Alright, well, he's going to play Wasp. This is one of those things where I guess Nicorakt just really needs to figure out. I mean, I feel like I look at Nicorakt, if he can go to tier 3 himself, I love the snipers against the majority of what Dewalt has got, but I guess it depends how much damage the snipers deal to those tier 3 Foundry units.
Yep. Alright, you see Nicorakt splitting up his groups of Wasp. One looking for the run by, one maybe just trying to find a freebie over here or denying map vision. It seems like the Vault is not really struggling. He's just gonna go tier 2. I mean, this is pretty obvious, right? This man is just gonna take it very slow. He's gonna get some mortars, recallers, go up to tier 3, and he's gonna push with double tier 3 foundry. That's gonna be really hard for Nikrok to deal with. Might even want to play air against it.
Yeah, I wouldn't hate the air. I think the air is really nice because it's going to force your opponent to potentially have to go air themselves, and if they do that, that's going to take them away from the tier 3 ground tech, right? So I wouldn't be against it. He is going to go ground tech himself, though. I guess we'll see if you can get up to the snipers, because I think they're going to be the deal breaker if we get something.
Wait, so does the Vault have the assault anti-air bot, right? What are those called exactly?
I forgot, but I know their nickname is like the Danger Mouse or something.
Okay.
Then
Yeah, I've
they've got
heard
a
that they are
different
not
unit
as
name.
impressive as assault bots, but I have very, very rarely seen them in action.
Yeah, it is a ground unit though, so it's again interesting to have like tier 2 Starforged ground units. So another interesting choice is we actually have the recall back to this forward base.
That's a good one.
And we are going to see the Wasps are just going to get a full dive on this. They surround a lot of the recalls on the left side, and now they're going to surround the recalls on the right side. We take these fights. There's no reinforcements on that recall either. I guess we've got tech units on the way over, and Mortar is making its way here, but that was a lot of recalls lost, and Nikorakt opens up with some big trades, and that's huge because that might just slow you down or slow your opponent down enough that now you've benefited from that way faster third.
March of the Mortar coming out of Nikrok, by the way. Sweet baby Jesus, look at his natural. He's got so many mortars coming. That's way more than the Vault is going to be able to work with. Now, the Vault may have defender's advantage, and if you can get him in the correct spot, make sure you cover the top as well. He might still be all right here, but he's going to have to siege right here, right now. All right, he gets away with it, and he fires off double tier 3 here, Waddy. This is going to be fun.
Yep, Nikorakt on that tier 3 as well, so we are going to see everyone go into their higher tech, and we are going to see snipers versus advanced ballistas and behemoths. Let's see if the advanced ballistas and behemoths live up to the hype, or if you're going to find your answer, Roddy.
Yeah, I believe snipers should be good against them, but I don't know. I have no idea this is going to go. This is very adventurous, by the way, against a Wasp player trying to sneak out not exactly the fastest unit. The recallers to the right side for a run by. Did not work, Waddy. Did not work.
Shock. Horror. I'm surprised. How did we not make that one happen?
Wait, he's going to try again if you're at the top. I mean, obviously it doesn't hurt you to recall home, but I think it's a little adventurous to assume that you can get away with this.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It's almost a little disrespectful to Nikorakt, does he? Nikorakt plays Terran, man. He ain't the Protoss player. He doesn't have his entire army in one spot. Alright, tier 3 is alive. How many snipers are we looking at? 3 at first. It's so many mortars, by the way, on the side of Nikorakt already. The Waltos is going to have a very, very hard time just bulldozing his way through. We do have a pretty powerful army in the bottom side of the map. Here we go. Triple mortar. That's not going to be enough. Nice target fire on the heavy ballista. Oh, he gets one.
Yeah, I love the target fire. And the target fire is getting it, so this is actually somewhat okay, because the behemoths are tanky, but the heavy ballistas do actually go down. However, a lot of those mortars get broken down, and this is the Duelt continuing to move forward very nicely. The snipers currently, oh, they do nothing to the behemoths, huh?
No, they do everything against the heavy ballista, but very little against the behemoths.
These behemoths are kind of sick, man. They just wander around, super tanky dudes. I like it.
Yeah, that's why I've really struggled with this silly comp, even when I had more bases. This is going to be an important fight here. Will it be Nikorakt and his mortars and snipers? Or will it be the heavy ballistas of the Vault? It's starting to look like it's the behemoths and the heavy ballistas, man. Double tier 3, Waddy. Woo!
I guess. That's sickening.
That was sick.
That's so good. It's like his entire. You know what's so interesting about this as well? Like his entire army was just the tier 3 units, right? Like there was no recalls to support or anything. He just like it's just like behemoths, heavy ballistas, go push. Like usually you got you got the throwaway units in the front, but you didn't even need them. The behemoths are that tanky.
BO is sick. Doesn't matter what he does, Waddy. The BOs.
The BOs. Beautiful stuff. Man, that's wild.
Yeah, that's probably a frustrating one for Nikorakt, right? Because it probably felt like a lot of things were going well. He had the momentum. He was getting some good trades. Didn't really take any bad fights up to the point where that double tier 3 was live for the Vault. And that is just a gnarly, gnarly combo. Might actually be worth taking a look at some of your air options.
Yeah, I think air is the thing that can at least make you question going into that tier 3 tech, right? I think that's what you've got to try and do, stop him from kind of just really kind of going there. So we will see. We have a destroyer on land from Nicorak this time as well, so he's got that option for him. He didn't have destroyers last time, right? Because otherwise I feel like he would have made them, as DeWalt actually goes completely different tech-wise.
What did Nicaragua have last game again? We had... what did he have? He had mortars? Obviously he made so many of them.
Maybe he had destroyers and he just never made them.
That's possible as well. Because maybe it's not like the... Nah, but late game he would have absolutely made
them
destroyers.
Against the Behemoths, yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah. What did he have? Actually don't know.
DeWalt's build is completely different.
Yep.
As well.
That's actually kind of cool as well, because that's the first time we see somebody win and still play in a completely different way. So maybe they're just trying to out-mind game each other a little bit. We're going to tech up to King Crab and Destroyers.
These wasps are not doing what they need to do. They'd love to get a few workers here, but they are just stuck in with the Scorpions, so this was a little bit too much of a dive from Nicorect, and that's not going to go well for him. And while he was looking great early on last time, as a few Scorpions getting for some worker kills here, it's definitely going to be a little bit more DeWalt who gets in early this time on the trades.
-3 workers, that's obviously not too bad. What are we going to do? I guess we're just going to expand ourselves as well, right? There's no need to really try to send it, even though maybe a 2-base send, King Crab, Destroyer, it actually has some potential.
I think
especially because these Scorpion fights are not too bad. Eventually you want to retreat a little bit to your side of the map. That's always difficult if you get surrounded. So many wasps. Should have retreated a tiny bit earlier if he could have.
Yeah, it's rough as the wasps are going to get us around now. Reinforcing Scorpions coming. I mean, we are just going to send it, by the way. Mass King Crab is on the way. So we are just going to go all or nothing, deny this base. I mean, he should be able to get the base. The question is, can the wasps do some damage in the meantime? It's hard to imagine there's anything that's going to protect a third of Nicorect, and that's where DeWalt will just play from, trying to even up the economy situation and then going from there.
Yep, Nicorect thinking of going for a base snipe, but that's not going to work. With the King Crab here around, it is indeed going to be a very easy snipe on the third. But of course now we should have access to our mortars, to our destroyers. Honestly, you could actually go destroyer here. That would really not be bad. Yep, he's going to go for a mix. I mean, that's fine. There's no way he should push into the main or even a natural at this point. I would say just go home DeWalt and drop another base. Why not?
Yeah, I think it is time to just do that. Continue to build units. You're never going to break into the mortars. This is the moment where you want to try and make it difficult for the mortars to take the middle of the map and maybe get your third up a little bit sooner, take that advantage. That's how I see this planning out from DeWalt, as he will have the power 4 base in a moment. Let's see if he drops it.
Well, they both seem to be a tiny bit timid. DeWalt does go tier 3 for the advanced blinks. All right.
Okay. So really,
I'm not
just
sure. I mean,
stuff.
You can maybe blink on top of mortars, or try to blink on top of destroyers, and then hope that your King Crabs go to town. 2 base against 2 base here, man. I feel like if Nicorak could, he would pull the workers at this point. But he can't.
Yeah, you got those workers in front of the mortars, just run them in and siege them up. As you're actually going to see a massive spread here from DeWalt, who is going to try and break onto this position. He has a lot of units. He needs to get rid of some of these destroyers. If the destroyers get the free reign over the King Crabs, it's not going to end well for you, as the destroyers do get free reign over those King Crabs, and he does clean them all up. If those destroyers had gone down, this would have actually been a great fight from DeWalt. Now, it was a disaster.
Well, it was actually like very even for a while though, but Nicorak had so many extra units coming in, right? But the initial fight there, it kind of felt like it was dead even. It came down to 1 mortar surviving with 10 HP by the time that final Scorpion went down. But yeah, you're not wrong, because obviously Nicorak had so many extra units that were on the way. Now we've got tier 3, we've got advanced blinks. What are we going to do with those? That run-by has some potential, because at this point Nicorak has nothing at home, but I don't think that the Vault can really hold at home.
Yeah, I think the run-by is the right idea. Well, I guess a few destroyers come out, man. Destroyers are so good against what the things they're good against, right? Like, it's almost ridiculous. As the mortar's set up, and I think you're right, Nicorak's going to be a little bit too good. I just do not believe advanced blinks can do anything to make a difference here. As you're going to see, the destroyers deleting King Crabs, and yeah. It's funny when units actually
it felt
just
like
get
a very odd choice to go tier 3 advanced blinks here. It felt like this was really not the game for it. Yeah. I think a third base would have been better, or you try to tack up to air and see if you could do something with air. Like maybe the Behemoths would have actually been sick. Think of a mix between, sorry, not the Behemoths, but the Mammoths. Think of a mix of Mammoths and maybe King Crabbies. Yeah, this investment into the advanced blinks did not pay off at all.
No, advanced blink was not it. Like you said, I don't even know what the idea was with the advanced blinks. I don't know where he felt like the advanced blinks were going to be like the heroes, or you know what I mean? Like, I don't know where we thought that was going to be like the answer to anything. So interesting choice, and we get tied up 1-1. DeWalt and Nick correct.
It is true that Mammoths obviously would get counted by destroyers, right? Because
Yeah.
there were destroyers, so maybe that's not really it. And airships obviously struggle with every single form of anti-air. It doesn't really matter what it is, but then just like a third base, more tier 2, I don't know. But anything besides the tier 3 investment in advanced blinks, because there are moments where the advanced blinks can look awesome, and they obviously give you some micro potential as well. But this game, I think, really was not it.
We are going to see instant tech from DeWalt.
Ooh!
King Crab
Is that
Destroyer.
the first time we see this today? One base tech?
I think, did Thingy do it? Larimbo at one point?
Oh yeah, Larimbo against Claymore, right? With the Scorpions and King Crabbies. And then he lost his Scorpions and then he clicked on the main base of Clem.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the only time. Alright, so maybe same idea here. Scorpion, King Crab. Obviously, Larimbo did lose a lot of his Scorpions, right? As he took a fight very close to Clem's main way before the King Crabbies were there. And we all thought that maybe if he didn't donate that many Scorpions and then the King Crabs would have gone to town on the workers, maybe there was potential for that one base rush to work. A lot of people love the idea of one base at least being intimidating, right? At least being strong. And Wadi, I'm not ashamed to admit that I have died to some one base.
I thought I had one base figured out, and then turns out I did not have it figured out. I've died to it a fair bit. Some of them are just so scary, man. Like, some of the units that can show up so quickly.
Yeah, especially stuff like Stingers. I find like the one base Stinger push is very scary. Alright, here we go, and I do think that DeWalt has done a very good job in not donating any Scorpions yet. King Crab's already getting a couple of good hits off. I don't know about a run by against the one base all-in. I feel like you're not going to get too much done here, even though King Crabby is going to be blocked by his own Scorpion, but the King Crabs of DeWalt are going to town, man. And Nikorok, he still needs some time. You think he's just going to spam Destroyers immediately?
He has to just spam Destroyers, but if you position properly here, you're just going to surround them straight away, right? So...
Yep. Not the main... Well, unless you're indeed going to surround. I like the one King Crab on the workers. I think that's awesome. Yeah. And this is where he needs to get on top of the Destroyers. Can he get picked? Oh my goodness. What?
Those
King Crabs
so
where?
Stupid, yeah. But they're so good. I mean, now the Scorpions are still putting in some work, but now you build a mortar and you're going to be safe and return the attention to the natural.
Like one King Crab on all the workers in the natural, and maybe then we can still make it a game, because we have taken out some workers in the main as well, right?
King Crab is running the hell away from that Destroyer, man. He is not messing around. A King Crab dives on the main base, gets rid of the mortar there. There's a Scorpion trying to get rid of the Destroyer. The Destroyer is so low. Oh my goodness. And the fact that it survives makes such a difference.
Scorpion, final hit of a Scorpion is good enough. But yeah, I think at this point we have ran out of steam already. Man, I felt like I was looking at 4 King Crabs and then I blinked and I was looking at 0 King Crabs. What it was all of a sudden a one-base Scorpion attack.
Yeah. The Destroyers just spawned in, and obviously they got patched, right? So they auto-target the durable units.
Yeah, which I find questionable, by the way.
yeah, because at least then they would have spawned in, probably shot a Scorpion once or twice, and then the target fire, if it was perfect, would have deleted them. But yeah, this was kind of the thing is, yeah, Destroyers are just so good. I don't think you can do this if there's Destroyers available. They just smashed it.
Yep. I figured that it was going to be close, and I thought maybe the Destroyers can get surrounded. King Crabs get a couple of hits off, but nope. Destroyers popped. Not just one of them, but like 5 or 6, and every single King Crab disappeared, and then it's a one-base Scorpion attack, which is just obviously not that intimidating anymore. It seems like Nikorok is going to take the lead here in this series for the first time. The man who was down 0-1 is going to take a 2-1 lead after 3 games. I think at this point, Wadi, that seems inevitable.
Yeah, I agree with you. I wonder if, again, we hit the base for a little bit, right? And like spread the units out. What if we send 1 King Crab on the natural, and that just kills all the workers there, and then you have... Yeah. You know, more workers dead in the main, then your opponent just struggles to keep building against your reinforcements. So, I think you could have at least deleted all of the economy on the natural, because this attack is obviously doomed, so this should be the final moments of game number 3, and Nikorok will have the lead.
Yeah, it's the second time we see it today. It's the second time it does not work. It is the second time that I am left with that feeling of, could we have done things better? Could we indeed have split off 1 King Crab into the natural and maybe get on top of the workers a tiny bit quicker? But I don't know, man. I feel like if it was that great, then we'd probably see it all the time. And maybe against Destroyers, it is just not it. But well done by Nikorok. as he turns things around. The man who was down 0-1 and now takes the 2-1 lead. And let's not forget that the man who took the 1-0 lead decided to completely switch it up, which is nice for us, right?
Yeah.
But what is stopping him from just going back to that double tier 3 that he found success with in game 1?
Yeah, go back to Heavy Ballista or Behemoth. Seems pretty good to me, man. It was very good.
I love that Behemoth just got his own unit now at this point. This is ridiculous, but okay. I want to get Roddies in the game as well, but I don't know how we can do this. I mean, people said the dragonflies are the butterflies, but I don't know, man. My phoenixes survive a whole lot longer.
Yeah, I don't think dragonflies are quite it, mate.
But yeah, I would love to see the wall just go back, because it makes sense that if you're losing or you feel like your opponent has a really good deck against yours, that you switch it up. But that man had a 4 from flawless early game, and he still just got the job done with a double tier 3 foundry. So why not go back to that? I mean, there is money on the line. $150 for the winner, 50 for the loser. He took the 1-0 lead. And we are back to what we took the 1-0 lead with. And I think it makes a lot of sense, Waddy.
Yeah, I'm with you. Why the heck not go for what was absolutely insane in the first game?
And we have destroyers on the side of Nicorok, and that is something that he perhaps forgot about. Because like snipers are obviously very good in certain situations. Snipers are amazing against mortars. But yeah, destroyers should be good against the Bios and the heavy ballistas.
Just about finding a way to get through the Behemoth, so like you say, if we if we get the destroyers to get them, maybe we're talking.
Similar setup to that first game. Nicorok splitting up his wasps in 2 different groups. It's just going to be a nuisance here. Work on the base a little, but you're not going to take out that base anytime soon. I would kind of love to see him play air, Nicorok that is. I feel like if you know what your opponent is going to do, like I am not that worried about dying against like 1-base recallers and blinky boys. You're going to be able to out-expand your opponent for a little while, so yeah, I would like to see him go air here.
I'm with you. I think as the logical choice based on what we're currently seeing. If you go air, I think there's a very good shot of just kind of making your opponent kind of have to play around you and not get to that tier 3 tech, but we're just going to go more to destroyer with that basic advantage. I mean, again, the early game was great for Nicorok in game 1. It was just he had no answer in the end.
Maybe we had an answer and we just forgot that we had an answer because we never built destroyers.
Yeah. Could be.
Oh, he's going to take this fight. Might need a few more recallers. I actually kind of like this fight for the Wasp. Am I crazy?
Yeah, no, it's really good. That was not a recall we could get away with. That's kind of what happened in game 1 as well, right? Like we recalled in, we had to recall these few units back as well. This is disastrous, and it was exactly the same. It was just as the mortars were coming up as well. And just before that, and now suddenly you started to switch around different bases, you started to harass different mineral lines, and you just put some damage in, although the mortar is in range for the most part of defense. The top workers are not from that natural defended currently. Actually, nothing on the main base either, so these wasps are going to get through again. And Nicorok just trying to make the absolute most of this.
Seems like we're already looking at a 4-base Nicorok, and it's so unnecessary, right? What a sad moment for the world, because if you look at the HP on the third Wadi, it's still like 95% there or 90% there. There was really no need to already recall, maybe just hoping to get a couple of free hits off. But if you just wait, like, it's okay to lose some HP on that base, because once you have mortars, you're never ever going to lose it anyway against a bunch of wasps. Just a little too eager there with the recall. And obviously kudos to Nicorok for immediately realizing that that is a great fight to take. And he took full advantage of it.
The mortars will siege on the other side, as we're going to see Dirwal try to make something happen, but not rich enough to afford the tier 3, what was so good for him in the game 1. So even though he went back to it, the game will just not get to the point where he can make use of it. As we have a bit of a mortar push, but obviously Nicorok is rich, and he's about to have snipers. And the moment snipers spawn out, yeah, you are good. You don't even need to defend the 4th right now, I don't think. I think you can let this go down if you want to. And, yeah, just let this kind of fall, and eventually snipers are going to play cleanup and do great for you.
Yep, we are going to get the double tier 3 though by DeWalt, and if DeWalt takes out this 4th base, we might still have a game, even though the center is completely exposed. Great job here by Nicorok with the Wasp. He's going to lose a couple of them, but if he gets 5-6 workers, he should be happy. He's not really getting those 5-6 workers yet, but in the end, well, we make it 5. I think he's going to be okay with that.
Oh, here come the snipers. Whoa, we didn't kill off the base, as the mortars are going to re-siege. Snipers are going to get in reach. Are they going to kill the mortars before the base? Oh my goodness, they are.
Oh no, poor DeWalt. If you would have taken that out, I was actually very curious to see how this would go. And once more, we go for the very ambitious recall drive-by against the guy with 1,000,000 wasp. This is not the game of the world so far. A bad Rico into the center and now not taking out the fourth, even though he was all over it for a while. Look at the recallers though, he does find a mortar. Now he's going to find a whole bunch of wasps. Nikolak is probably wondering like, mate, what are you doing? What is this play? But hey, that's actually a pretty good one this time around.
Yeah, working out as I do see obviously the push on the other side here, the BMOs and the ballistas. As this was the issue we had before, still no destroyers available, although this time we just have the numbers. The heavy ballistas get melted and the Behemoths, you mentioned it, they don't really do the damage, right, the Behemoths, so yeah, once it's just the Behemoths, they don't really do too much. Some recalls are still going, man, these guys.
The recall squad in the center, perhaps the most successful squad of the game, but it's never going to be enough. GG gets called. Nikorakt has taken full control of this series. Was down 0-1, now takes the 3-1 lead and is one map away from walking away with $150. Obviously, the loser of every series will still get $50 as well. And we're gonna do it all over again tomorrow, aren't we, Waddy?
Yeah, we are. Tomorrow we're gonna have the community. What are we calling it? The community rumble or something?
Yeah, I think like the community rumble, Battle Aces Discord community rumble. Let's keep it long and sweet.
Yeah, we'll keep it long. Yeah, the longer it is, the better. I want to say it 10 times over.
Are you excited to play?
Yeah, man. I didn't get a chance to play as much the last week or two, so whoever gets me might actually have a chance this time, but, you know, I'm excited to play because this game's very fun to play. I'm going to try play a few different decks or something, I think, as well, so excited.
You're gonna see mega tryhard Roddy made gunbot every game.
Well,
plan B.
I'm not saying I'm gonna do it like a lot of games, but maybe from game 1 to 2 I'll try something different and go back to what's working, you know.
Let's see what the wall decides to do here in our 6th of 8 best of 7s. Thanks everybody for joining in. It seems that a lot of you guys are having a great time. That makes us happy, makes Uncapped Games happy, and they are obviously the ones who allow us to run this event. So big shout out to everybody over at Uncapped Games for allowing us to run this fun day of show matches. Game 5, Waddy, match point for Nikorakt. As once more we've got Scorpion versus Wasp, but we also have Gunbots, and I don't think he had Gunbots before. Didn't he have Blink Hunter?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's just not afraid of his opponent playing air. So he's just like, yeah, I'm not going to bother. This is absolutely the time to play air as Nikorakt. 100%. Right? Because then if you play air, you stop him from going mortar. And he's teching first as well, so like he's probably going to tech Foundry, then you can tech air in response.
But the Wald might actually just play 3-base ground here. Like actually he could go with the approach that we saw earlier today of Potting and Trigger, like the spam Scorpion Gunbot. That's pretty damn powerful against Wasp. I think he can absolutely go 3-base here. Like he must go... No, he doesn't. He goes air. 2-base air. Okay.
Well, Nikorakt's going to go air himself, so I guess he has to, right? Because otherwise he just has no answer.
So we have Butterfly Airship versus Airship and Mammoth.
Well, I guess the beauty of it is the Wild is you can kind of just... I guess you just build some airships and some mammoths, and it's still okay for you maybe? I actually don't know.
Yeah, but I feel like if you build some airships, you need to build all the airships, right? Because otherwise Nikorakt can just build all the airships, and if you only build some, you're just going to lose that fight.
Gunbot's going to activate, but I love it. The Wasps again on top of the Gunbots, they're just kind of just taking away the Scorpion tankiness. And so these Wasps are going to start continue to do pretty well. Going to go for the Gunbots again. Starting to run out in numbers. A few reinforcements coming across, and the Scorpions still strong in the front. We'd love to see again the Wasps just jump onto some of these Gunbots again, because they will just deal so much damage if they go unanswered in the back.
Scorpions are owning though. The Scorpions are absolutely owning. Now I'm very curious, what will Nikorakt build? I kind of feel like you have to go airship here. No, he goes butterflies, at least a couple. But maybe after these 2 butterflies, just to help out a little bit on the ground, then he must go airship, no?
Yeah, he just needs to clean up, and then you got to go airships to kind of deal with your opponent's eventual airships. Otherwise, you're just in trouble. So control this, then get airships up of your own. Of course, you are up a base, right? So if you just now go airships and you're good, I think we're okay. How many can we build? 3 against 7? Yeah, that's the problem, right? You mentioned it.
Yeah, this is a problem right now. Actually, I'm starting to like this for the man who's trailing 3-1 in this best of 7. As we've got airships for days, we're might not going to be able to take out this base because airships are not that good in taking out and expand. We're going to have a butterfly drive-by, by the way, the bottom side of the map, but the wall has a read on it. 2 airships intercepted. I think we're going to game 6, Waddy.
This base goes down. DeWalt will expand. We get set back up as we have the airship wasp combo up on this top side, chilling out a little bit. A few of those wasps start to move out.
Maybe we could have. Maybe we need to chill here because you really, really don't want to lose the airship battle here if you're the Walt. If you do that, you're actually in trouble. It's a close battle, but I think in the end, nah, he's fine. He's got more than enough. That's gonna do it. Yep, that is a GG. Well done by the Walt there, switching it up. Funny fight there with the Scorpions because it kind of looked like the Wasps were absolutely holding their own right and they were buying time, but all of a sudden they went in very deep to get on top of the gunbots, and that's awesome. But there were actually only 3 gunbots there, and by committing so many Wasps to chase down those gunbots, the Scorpions just absolutely blasted every single remaining Wasp that was fighting on the ground, and yeah, Solane turned heavily in favor of the Walt.
Well, the airship battles I can already see being a meme in the future, man. It's like, who built one less airship?
That's ultimate Phoenix against Phoenix, but at least they don't stack, you know? So I feel like there is more micro potential.
Yeah, you can actually count and move them backwards and play with them.
Yeah. I've tried, and there were some moments where I was like, "Ooh, I like my micro," and there were other moments where I was like, "Wait a minute, I feel like if I would have done nothing, this would have gone better." The anti-micro can be very real. Game 6. 150 buckies for the winner, 50 for the loser. Once more, everything provided by Uncapped Games today. Very, very grateful that we can do this. It's been fun. Looking forward to tomorrow as well. Everybody make sure to join the Battle Aces Discord because we will select 8 lucky players to play against 8 community members, streamers, casters. There will be more info provided later tonight, and it will start same time, same place tomorrow. And before any of you nerds get your hopes up that were invited today, if you were invited today, you can play tomorrow. Don't be greedy.
Yeah, that's a little bit much, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh.
4 Scorpions in the bottom right side. Yeah. I mean, 4 Scorpions against this many Wasps, I feel like you're going to be okay. Nice micro by Nikorok. Look at this. Oh my goodness. Look at this. That is so much try-harding. We should give him a penalty.
You're not meant to do this much microing. Now the Wasps kind of winning out a little bit on the top side as well. I like it so far. Picking up on his opponent's tendencies of just hiding those Scorpions down there and trying for that run by. And that's why it was kind of cool. Some of the earlier series players were doing different things with their same units early, and it just, made them less predictable. That's obviously something to think about as well in these longer matches when you kind of go through this early game 5-6 times.
I mean, I almost feel like if you play Wasp here against Gunbot Scorpion, you're gonna get a little bit reckless. Because if you just let the armies grow, it's gonna go really, really, really bad for you. And Nikorok is trying to be a little bit reckless, but I don't know if these were quite the openings that he was hoping for. Overall, I really like the way that the Walt is playing this. The man who was trailing 1-3, Wadi, I feel like he's retaking control of this best of 7.
The Wasps in the center, though, are going to try for the full surround. This time it's surround on the Gunbats and on the Scorpions. We're going to keep on fighting here. A few more Wasps showing up at the same time. No tech being made, so this time it's everyone just kind of spamming out units. There are 3 bases on 3 bases. No one wants to be the first to invest into tech because it's so expensive right now.
That's a lot of Wasps.
Yeah, this time the Wasps are winning.
Wasp. Yeah, but just if you're winning in the center, you're winning close to your own third base, that's one thing. I do think the Walt should chill a little bit, mate. You were absolutely losing that previous fight, and now he's going in really deep. If I'm Nikorok, I'm just hammering down that button once more for a few more Wasps. He's the first one to attack up, Wadi. He's going to go for mortars and destroyers.
Attack on the way up, as this is a fight that then doesn't go his way because he was tacking up, right? So that's money spent, and this is where you probably shouldn't have committed. Fall back, get a few more units up. Maybe you let your third take a little bit of damage because, like you say, you're on the way to that tech much sooner. Is this now a step too far forward without reinforcements from DeWald? As we are going to see the wall starting to look a little bit better, but I just don't think so. The
nice
5 or 6 gunbots are doing a whole world of work, but now they're going to be running out of their overclock. They spend it one more time. A few more Wasps coming in. Obviously, they just show up so quickly, these Wasps, and I think Nikorok will hold on, get the tech out, and that third base is not taking any work losses at all.
I still think it looks better for the Walt now than it did a while ago. Nikorok, I think if he would have just doubled down on the Wasp for a split second, he was absolutely owning. But at one point, he was floating, tacking at the same time, and now he's once more chasing into the center of the map. I don't think he should be doing that. He gets one gunbot, he will eventually gets the second, but he needs tier 2. The problem is that his tier 2 is mortars, right? And they're gonna slowly... Okay, that's a lot of mortars. That's not a problem, Wadi. If you have this many mortars, that is not a problem. Man, what an epic battle over the third. We do have a tiny run by. Yeah, I like this. It's a mixture between Scorpions and Gunbots. I'd love to see the Scorpions going deep. And Mortars are here to save the day. All right, we're all tied up for now. Welcome to Mortar Wars.
Snipers on the way from Nikorok already is obviously going to break the mortars, but then we're going to see the Behemoths and Heavy Ballistas coming out. Well, We'll see how we do that, as we are going to dive in, trying to just get more mortars in position. But if you target fire those mortars, trying to get in position, you should be able to do okay. And I think that's exactly what we did. So you got 3 mortars on the bottom, but they're not really in a dangerous place, right?
Maybe he could sneak one more further to the right, then it would be in range of some of these workers. If you're in, if you have vision, I think that's kind of the play here. I mean, that definitely was not a great trade for the vault, but that does allow him to get the mortars in the sweet spot here. Wow, -8, just like that.
-8. Yeah, no, that's definitely the power of this setup. As you do have defensive mortars back at home, so the Rosp one by not probably going to do too much. We already have some mortars set up defensively on the natural. We are moving mortars across aggressively. So actually, the third base of DeWalt's going to be in trouble. I think he wanted to wait to build more stuff until he, had the tier 3 tech available. Actually going to send those mortars around the back, so he's going to do exactly the same. I think he could have actually gone more aggressively onto the base, but he just doesn't realize it.
Yeah, he didn't know, right? He doesn't quite see what we see, but I love it. I feel like that's a real TVT move by Nicorak. Like, he's under a lot of pressure at home, and he just grabs 3 tanks, aka mortars, runs them to the other side of the map, sees them in a good spot. But I am with you. He could have done a tiny bit more, but he at least gets those 8 workers. Now he's going to have to donate some wasp to make sure that he doesn't lose the remaining mortars.
Snipers clean up on the bottom side of the third base. That is going to be freed up. So snipers will deal with the mortars. Obviously, the question is, can the behemoths and heavy ballistas make a difference as well? I really feel like I'm surprised we haven't seen a single attempt to make just a couple destroyers just to hit the behemoths throughout the fights. I feel like they would do so much.
It's like he's not a believer. But I mean, maybe if you have this many mortars and this many snipers, you don't need to be a believer. The mortars do seem a little bit exposed, though. Here come those behemoths. Is it good enough? I mean, it's kind of good, but it's definitely not a win for the world.
Now all these mortars don't have really an answer, right? Because now the snipers can just move forward and kill so many, but we're unsure about it. I think Nicorak can absolutely go and get so much value right now before reinforcements show up. The mortars are all going to unsiege. That's going to be a massive kill. Snipers getting a bunch done. Mortars moving forwards. We're going to see now snipers just able to target fire down units such as the heavy ballistas. The mortars trying to move into this fight, just not going to happen. And it does look as though Nicorak will absolutely take this game and this series because... yeah, I think you said it, right? It's like the TVT move. He understands so well how to kind of go across the map and create situations for his opponent when it gets a bit hairy yourself, and it absolutely allowed him to take some better fights here.
Yep, I think he was in a bit of trouble. It's very interesting not to see him go for destroyers, but hey, if you have this many snipers, this many mortars, and you're very confident in your ability to play mortar against mortar, who really cares? Who needs a destroyer? It is indeed going to be Nicorak who's going to win our 6th best of 7 of the night. 150 buckies will go to him. A great StarCraft 2 player from Russia gets the dub over a great Root War player from Russia here in Battle Oasis. Isn't that beautiful, Wadi? The circle is complete.
The circle is complete. Well, we are going to be seeing the snipers in such high numbers here, just going to target fire down, man. When they one-shot the heavy ballista, it looks crazy, but that's a lot of expensive snipers. And yeah, he's going to finish up this series 4-2 for Nicorak. He takes this down, and congrats to him.
I gotta say, snipers sound very satisfying as well in high numbers. If you have a whole bunch of them and they shoot at units either like mammoths or the behemoths, it sounds nice. I like it.
Amazing.
Nothing is as satisfying as a whole bunch of assault bots, but I gotta say, sounds good. Congrats to Nicorak for winning our 6th series of the night. And that means now it is time to hop into the one that I was perhaps the most excited over, together with J Money, Magic, and Cuckoo. It is Demu versus Papi. I think this is going to be a sick one, mate. I don't know if it's going to be better than Conqueror against Boanan, because that was just amazing, right, from start to finish. But I think this one is going to be absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't know if Ben's ready to play yet. I think he might still be playing AoE, but
okay.
Can figure something out perhaps.
We're gonna figure it out.
I don't know AoE, so I open the stream. I see him playing, but I've got no idea if he's winning. Like, he's up 2-0 in the series, I think, but I don't know if it's a best of 5. I don't know if he's winning game 3. It's hard to say.
All right. So Ben did inform us, guys, before we invited him, that he might not be available exactly when we need him. So we first thought about moving him around, and then we moved him to the second to last slot. And we thought he would always be free at this point. But there is a chance that we're just gonna have to wait a little bit for Ben. If that is what it is, Wadi, I mean, maybe we can play a little best of 1 against each other to buy some time, if it comes to that.
Yeah, we could do. Maybe Vibe in theory can.
Yeah, if they want to play earlier, then
it's actually that playtime anyway, because we're a bit late. So.
Okay.
So maybe that's.
So even though we are late, Ben is still not available. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, this guy. I bet he would have been available in the original match I put him in as well. What a champion.
Somebody said I can sub in to kill the time. There's no subbing in today, but you guys will have a chance to play tomorrow in one of these best of sevens. We have not quite, I think, announced the lineup for tomorrow yet, but a little spoiler is that Wardy will be playing, and I will be playing, and Indie Starcraft will be playing. And you guys will have the chance with some very, very easy money. All you have to do is join the official Battle Aces Discord. If you guys go to playbattleaces.com, there's a link to it. We're gonna do 8 best of sevens tomorrow. Same rules, 150 bucks for the winner, 50 for the loser, and you guys will be able to sign up to challenge us in the Battle Aces Discord. It will all be very clear and visible later tonight.
I think Ben just won his match. So
What a gamer!
what a guy.
Yeah,
So,
we can give him a couple of minutes. Obviously, I mean, I want to take a break anyway. We
yeah,
just
we'll
did
take
2
a
more
break
best
and
of
we'll
sevens.
see if
So.
he says anything. Sounds
Yeah.
good.
Who won the pre? Okay, right. I'll just mute myself to you for a little
Yeah,
bit,
sure.
and then I'll see you soon.
Alright guys, so we're just gonna figure out the Ben situation. Try and figure that out. See how long he needs and stuff. So yeah, and if he can actually play now and so on. I don't know what the is there an AoE for Wikipedia? So Ben won his upper bracket quarterfinal. I don't know if Ben needs to play his upper bracket semifinal now. I don't think so. I think Ben's got time to come and play. So I think we should be okay. He's doing an interview. Yeah, once he's done his interview, we'll probably be able to go. Cool. Cool. Alright guys, so we're just gonna chill a little bit, take a couple minutes. I actually think I'm gonna go a break stream for a little bit myself. So yeah, I'm gonna go to the break screen quickly. We'll come back and we'll figure out the burn situation, but we shouldn't be too long, I don't think. I think it should be kind of alright. I think he's just gonna do this interview and you'll probably be able to come play with us. BRBs. BRB. I guess. I think we're gonna do Vibe versus Theory. And then Ben. Hey yo. Oh, right, it's still deafened. Alright, looks like it's all gonna work out. I'm just ready for Roddy to unmute. And we'll be we're in the Vibe Theory lobby, so we're pretty much set to go. A little bit of a switch up. Roddy's just BRB. BRB.
Alrighty, amigo. I am back.
Hey. Hello.
I'm switching over to NA.
Sweet.
2 more best of 7s, mate.
Yeah, man. We've had some good games today. I've enjoyed them.
Yeah, but Conqueror against Bowen still takes the crown.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm curious to see if one of the last 2 can be better, but those games were just too cool.
Yeah, the Conqueror Bonan was just absolutely ridiculous, right? Just amazing stuff. I mean, we've had some other cool matches, some other cool things. You know what this really makes me kind of, obviously this is just a show match, but it'd be really interesting to see kind of, you know, I know it's not happening today, but like next time around we do like a little tournament, because it'd be so cool to see how the styles of players change when they go up against different decks, because we've seen a lot of like, oh hey, I'm playing against this deck, these are my adjustments. That's been how the series have gone. But obviously it would change so much to see how some of these guys that have never gone to tier 2 play against the guys that have been rushing to tier 3 and everything, right? So
yeah, and it'd be very exciting as well to see someone like Stefano, who looked damn good against a really good player that is Nidix. But how would he look against Clem, right? Would he be able to make Clem sweat? Would he be able to get a couple maps or even more? I don't know. I mean, Clem is so ridiculously good that I don't want to get too carried away, but very, very impressed by Stefano's performance. And I also love to see some of the skills that Nicorakt has gathered over all these years of playing StarCraft 2 already translate into better Aces here, because that was a great move. It is Mortars, but it is time, guys, for our second to last series. I am very excited for this. I know both players are good. Let's see what we are working with. Vibe in the bottom left with Scorpions and Rico and Bombers. First time today, Wardy. Then we see Bombers as Theory is working with Blink and Scorpion.
Hype's got a wild setup. He's got the double tier 3 tech because he's playing tier 3 Blink and the Heavy Ballista. And he's also then his air tech's wild too. Locust there, something we've not seen much of. Very cheap air unit that can be very, very good if you can get to them. Theory playing the Blink Scorpion is something which he's liked since the start, so he's going to do a lot of harassing with that. A lot of pressure on the map, I imagine, from him early on.
I'm very curious to see if Vibe can get any value out of the double tier 3, because Bombers are cute and all, but I feel like he's gonna really struggle in the mid game now. But I guess that's where he's truly relying on the recallers to maybe get up to 4 bases quickly, get rich, and just try to defend all 4 bases. But how on earth is he gonna defend Mortars?
He's got nothing against Mortars.
No.
Yeah, the thing is, I think Theory is always also like, he's like, I actually don't know if you've got anything against Blink Scorpion, because he feels as though he can probably trade very well. Blinks are very powerful in good numbers. I don't think Scorpion's actually that good against them, and the recalls are going to struggle here to really do more than the Blinks are doing. We're going to recall in, that means we can maybe get on top, but actually there's already Scorpions there, so that's going to be a catch. And we are going to see those Blinky boys continue to put the work in, and this is already from Theory a fantastic start, my goodness.
It's more than just a fantastic start. I feel like this can be a game-ending start, man. Now we're actually going to see some of that Blink Stalker that we normally call micro potential, but it's just the Blink boys here in the center of the map. You're going to be able to keep them around for a little while. A couple of Scorpions are not going to cut it. We need way more recallers. 3 is simply not enough. What a great Blink there, preventing those recallers from retreating to the bottom. I think this is a 1-0 lead for Theory already, man, just like that.
Theory is very, very good, and I hope this isn't just a mismatch, because I know Theory is very good. I feel like I was really good when I was watching him play, but sometimes it's so hard to gauge those guys, to gauge where everyone's at, and this is obviously fantastic from Theory. No messing around, basic blink, scorpion attack, gets in a great spot. Vibe's going to try and go air, don't hate it, it's going to force something of a response from Theory if he survives long enough, the main part being if he survives long enough.
He's gonna lose every single worker here in his natural, potentially even the base, man. I really think this game is just a wrap. Those fights in the center were not good. I don't really love the idea of going Recall and Scorpion. I really think that pure Recall would have been better, because those are also two units that don't sync that well. Just way more potential on the side of Theory, and Theory has completely steamrolled Viper in the first game. Somebody in my chat let me know that Vibe said he actually misclicked, and he thought that he selected King Crabs and he accidentally got Bombers. I don't know if with King Crabs it would have looked a whole lot different, at least not this early game, but maybe that just kind of rustled him a little bit already, right? And then you lose your focus.
Might have forced
and
his
you just
hand as
take
well.
bad fights.
Maybe he attacks instead of going third base or something, like, could be very different, but yeah, this is obviously not pretty, as you do have the Blink's still just gonna be out in the center. Theory is saving it up because he's got his air attack coming through as well, so he's just not spending money right now, otherwise he'd be very far ahead. Vibe is kind of doing the same. He kind of wants to see what his opponent builds before he commits, and Theory just builds a few airships, and now the Mammoth en masse, and that's going to be his choice. I guess Vibe can kind of just do the same. He can build Dragonfly. Well, I guess he just builds pure Mammoth. I guess it's not worth him building any Dragonflies.
But then he's got no NTR now. He must, because otherwise the airships are going to absolutely destroy you.
Yeah, but then the airships are going to destroy the Dragonflies, no?
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, the only unit right now that Vibe can build that shoots up is the Dragonfly.
Yeah.
So you have no choice.
Sometimes there is no good choice.
Yep.
Yeah, here we go. Airship's going to start destroying the Dragonflies. The third base is going to go down again, and Theory is just going to absolutely crush. As airships just focus the Dragonflies, and this is just undusted. And the Dragonflies getting chased off. The Mammoths can continue forwards. Don't think Vibe is recovering from this one.
I was a little surprised that Theory didn't go up to 3 bases earlier. I really felt that he had enough money for that. He had all the momentum for it, but maybe he just wanted to play it very safe. He felt he was dominating in 2 base against 2 base, so there was no need for him to overcomplicate things. Takes a very convincing 1-0 lead. Let's see if Vibe indeed did make a misclick, if he didn't want to go for the bomber, if he actually wanted to go for something else. And hopefully we'll see a much more competitive game too, because, I mean, I think sometimes, I like the idea of sometimes going double tier 1, right? We've seen Gunbots and Scorpions work very well together, but I think Scorpions and Recall, that's not really it. I feel like if you play Recall, you should just go mass Recall. I feel like that's when they are the strongest, and then you can also blink all over the place and out-expand your opponent a little. I think switching it up too early, if Recall is one of your main starting units, I've very rarely seen that work out, especially as a Recall player.
Yep. No, I think Recall just kind of needs to work on its own, and then just have some other support to it. The Scorpions...
And it is very good, right? Like, especially defensively, it is ultra strong. It's hard to find offensive plays because they are a bit slow, but defensively they are amazing. And you can out-expand your opponent, you can wait to see what they tag into, and then you can have the right tag in response, or at least what you believe in.
Yep. Well, we should be able to get going into this next game. Players readied up, so we can kick off into game 2 of this best of 7, number 7. And see if there is indeed any switches. It is going to be Theory goes 1 base tech, destroy King Crab.
Okay, so that's probably Scorpion King Crab rush. I mean, that hasn't looked mega good.
I think it's good against what Vibe has, though, right? Because Vibe doesn't have like the destroyers to shut down the King Crabs. What can he do?
But what if you just expand 2 base and you spam mass recall? I feel like recallers are perfectly fine against Scorpion King Crab, you know?
Yeah, potentially. I guess it depends how drastically Theory hits, so we'll see. These recalls cannot lose themselves early. Obviously, got to be very careful about moving forwards here.
Yeah, you can obviously, Vibe can obviously not build destroyers like some of the other people were able to build destroyers earlier today. You don't want to lose any recallers here. Getting a few shots off is nice. You don't lose them. Ooh, the positioning here, by the way, is mega important. You always want to worry a little bit more over your main than you want to worry over your natural. He goes Mammoths, but okay, I don't hate that, by the way. Mammoths, mega tanky. I mean, I like this for Vibe. I don't like moving out, by the way. Why are we moving out against a 1-base opening?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't understand this at all.
That's a little bit crazy as Fury is going to just get past as well. So the recall's going to recall home, but the Scorpions can't. So the Scorpions have to run. What are we going to do? I think Vibe's a little bit like, uh-oh.
Oh. But you need every single unit at home, man, because you're playing 2 base with tech against the guy that went 1 base all in. And now having a couple of Scorpions in the middle of nowhere just seems a little bit silly. And this is where you could have really used those Scorpions. The Recallers are going to take care of one of the King Crabs very early. As we can see, Theory going for some of the workers in the main. He has already completely destroyed the natural, and he's now just going to expand himself.
Yep. Well, we're just going to take that expansion. It is going to be the Dragonflies that pop out. King Crab just tries to get a few more workers. As much damage done as possible. Just try and slow that income down. And, yeah, Theory obviously can build the Blink Hunters. That pretty much is his anti-air here. Will have to be the anti-air against the Dragonflies. It might just be the Dragonflies are good enough. The limiting factor for Theory will be the power. It's going to be difficult to afford enough of these Blink Hunters to kind of deal with the Dragonflies. So, let's see, as the Dragonflies will go around the top 2, so they can be very annoying, forcing your Blink Hunters to be everywhere you kind of don't want to have them.
Yep, just getting a few workers here would be awesome. A nice blink there by Theory. There's one Scorpion, by the way, in the main that's going to work on some units. That doesn't get anything done. Vibe wants to get damage done before he even thinks about expanding. He's about to have the money for an expand, so he can definitely expand. This is nice, though, because now he's poking with the Recallers and Scorpions, and Theory needs to figure out what he wants to pay attention to. Is it those Dragonflies, or is it this army in the natural?
Good blink there, as we do have, I believe, some Blink Hunters intercepting some of the Dragonflies. Dragonfly's going to fly through. We do lose the King Crab. The recall's going to be great against the Blink Hunters. Good control on both sides. We're going to see the Blinks go to the right side once again. There's King Crab trying to come forward. It doesn't last very long, but it buys you a little bit of time, at least for the Blink Hunters to put some work in themselves. We're running out of Dragonflies, and I think, obviously, this had to be damage from Vibe. Otherwise, obviously, just no expansion from him is going to be painful. And that's probably just it.
Well, great hold by Theory, definitely in the end, and you're not wrong, but Theory doesn't quite have the army right now that can immediately run to the other side of the map. If you do that, okay, he is going to go for it. It's a little bit of a guessing game, right? Because you don't really know what Vibe is spending his money on. Maybe he's just not worried. Perhaps he's right, because he does have a very big army supply lead. Got a Destroyer in the mix. Oh, yeah. Poor Vibe. I just don't understand the idea of moving out with the Recallers and the Scorpions when you're going up against a 1-base opening. That's so wild, right? Because you know that you have to defend. It's literally a 1-base opening. So being out on the map just never really seems to be the play, ever.
Yep, no, there's no reason to be out on the map, because even if you get something across into the main, what are you going to achieve from that? Your opponent's going to build reinforcements from their main base anyways, so they're going to naturally become a defense. So I agree, I don't think being out on the map against that is ever really necessary. The Destroyers just get rid of the Mammoths, obviously. Great time to have some Destroyers. That should be a natural base kill, and obviously your upper base. We are going to recall into position, but Vibe knows that this is just a little bit too strong.
Yeah, that is one game that I think Vibe will be kicking himself for. Apparently made a misclick loading into game 1, had bombers, wanted King Crabs, but he kind of lost the game before we ever got to see any tier 2 anyway. I think this game, if you just play pure Recallers for a while, I mean, maybe like recall and a couple Scorpions defensively is fine, but moving them out, these holds are always so tight, right? They're incredibly tight when you're going up against a 1-base tech opening. Every single unit matters, and having 4 Scorpions in the middle of nowhere, that's just a noble way now, I think. It's a shame.
Hopefully a little bit more of a fight than in this game 3. Hopefully Vibe can steady himself and get set up a little bit.
Vibe is a proper gamer. Once upon a time, the official American StarCraft 2 champion. Theory, of course, a guy that has played a lot of StarCraft 2 in his life as well. I believe he's also very excited and good already in some of the other future RTSs that are coming out. And I think ever since he got his hands on Battle Aces, he's been enjoying himself, and he seems to be damn good at it.
He's a great guy as well. He's a very friendly guy, and he honestly seems to just excel at everything he picks up, which is cool to see. As we do a quick check here now, Vibe, Insta-King Crab.
Oh, but Theory's got Destroyers, though.
I know, like, the Destroyer, you just can't do it against Destroyers.
No. I feel like we've seen this twice already today, and we just saw one guy have 5 King Crabs in the main of his opponent. And then before I could even blink once, those Destroyers came out and every single King Crab disappeared. I mean, I don't like it, and this is starting to turn into a bit of a nightmare best of 7 for Vibe, who I do believe has the skills to hang with Theory, but whatever is happening so far in these games is not it.
Nope, it is not it at all. As you just see a few Scorps obviously building, waiting for the King Crabs to be ready to build, and we're going to go across the map. In theory, just needs to kind of hang back, mass build the destroyers when they're available, and that kills everything, because you're going to match the Scorpions anyway. And then,
What about one base tier 3, buddy?
one base heavy ballista?
One base heavy ballista, send it. No, I don't believe, man. I really do not believe in this at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe he's gonna get that perfect execution. You know, we did always have the ifs and buts, split off one king crab. It seems like if he just goes everything into the natural, one king crab into the main to kill some workers, and then we go home and we expand, then I don't hate it. Let's see. Perhaps Vibe has a different idea than let's lose everything to destroyers. Here we go. Yeah. One king crabby into the main. I like it. I'm starting to believe a little bit here, Waddy.
Yeah, Theory obviously going to respect the crabs and not fight, so he's going to definitely kill the natural expansion. That's where Theory is going to be able to make the destroyers, and yeah, Vibe is going to turn back and expand.
Well, so now we're both expand. Vibe needs to be careful because destroyers are so freaking good. But yeah, this is better. This is better than donating everything into the main. I like it.
Yeah, this makes sense because you can't really defend the natural if they just right-click it because you just don't have the tech online in time.
Exactly.
So, and then also when the tech spawns, it doesn't spawn on top of your army, so it doesn't get instantly. It has to walk over there, so that helps as well.
Would you like 2 base tier 3 now from Vibe? Because I would kind of like it, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, he's going for the surround. It's so risky, though. It is so risky. Or a drive-by? What are we doing? He wants to kill workers? Here we go. Vibe with a big commitment, obviously. I mean, these king crabbies are going to disappear, but how many workers can he get? And he's going to try to get the natural one more time, but you can't just throw away everything.
No, I just don't think that's going to be it. As you see, quite a lot of these workers going down. So, I mean, I guess that's something that's actually, I mean, a lot of income lost. That's what, like 15 workers? That's basically the entire natural just denied because of that half the main. So, but now you're going to have a push across the map from Theory, who's up 30 supply. And he might just have his own thoughts about getting rid of a third base here.
Yep, and he has everything, right? He's got King Crabbies himself, he's got Destroyers. May not be that many, but even 2 are really going to change the fight completely. Maybe Vibe should have tried to counterattack one more time and buy some time. I don't think he's winning this fight. He's trying to set up maybe a magical, very big surround. If you can take out these 2 Destroyers, there is a chance. There's 3 of them in total. First King Krabby is already gone, and the other King Krabbies are probably going to disappear real quick. It's a very chaotic fight here. It's a lot of Scorpions, it's a lot of King Crabs, but it's the Destroyers that should always make the difference here.
Nope, it's the Destroyers are just really freaking good. They're just too good, right? In these scenarios, like, they just cannot... There's no answer to them. The King Crabs will just disappear. Your opponent's King Crabs are not dying. And that's just going to mean that Theory will very easily win this fight. And he is going to come through. He's going to win that comfortably. And that is going to be a base dead. And obviously with enough army to probably just fight on into the natural still.
GG. Theory takes a 3-0 lead. After Vibe did manage to kill the natural with his 1 base opening. Perhaps the second wave was just the biggest mistake. I mean, I do understand the fear of, like, if he does nothing, isn't he just going to lose to Destroyers? But why didn't we try to tack up to tier 3 or... I don't know. The second attack just wasn't it, right? He got some workers, but if you lose 40, 50 supply when you don't have a big economy, it's just incredibly difficult to recover from.
Yep. Well, Theory to come into game number 4 now. Chance to make it another 4-0. And yeah, just I feel like Vibe got a bit flustered first game or 2, trying himself something a little bit different, and Theory just so far being the all-around stronger guy.
Yeah. Before the beta was public, I played a couple games against Theory, and I felt that he had barely played a game up to that point, but it was already really good. I was like, damn, if he keeps improving at this pace, he's going to be one of the strongest players. I don't know if he is. It seems like we have a tiny... Never mind, we both expanded. I missed the expense going down. Vibe goes back to opening up with recall. Theory expands and makes some Scorpions. I really hope that Vibe can turn it around a little bit, because Theory is a great guy, but so is Vibe, and he's always been very good at video games, especially the RTSs.
Yep.
I feel like some of these games, Waddy, they were just unfortunate. They really did not have to go down this way.
Yeah, I'm with you, and he definitely has some good ideas. I mean, he had a better take on the 1 base than a lot of the 1 bases we saw already today, right? So, the score on the board is not necessarily the best indicator. There's a few Scorpions going to back it up. Obviously the recalls. Maybe get some shots off here. And you can always recall away if they come in danger, as we're going to see the fast third from Vibe. Now Theory is going to tech, and honestly, King Crab Destroyer feels like you're almost always going to push onto that third.
Yep, but I think pure Rico is really not bad against it. Rico right now, you really don't want to lose any Recallers, because as amazing as they are obviously pretty expensive. I mean, I like this by Vibe. So far, I really do like this by Vibe, and I feel like in theory, no pun intended, this has a lot of potential. Because he can go air here, right? Like, why wouldn't you just play Rico into air? It's a shame, and they can go Behemoth. Nah, actually, no, this is Destroyers. It's a shame he doesn't have Falcons in his deck.
Yeah, Falcons would be pretty neat, as we do see the recall's going to be forced back to the third once again. Theory is going to drop his own third down. His tech unit's available 15-20 seconds from now, and he'll be able to start cranking out a few of those.
Makes a few more Scorpions. There's a lot of Scorpions in the top left. Vibe can put some serious damage here on this base and might actually be able to gun down a couple of Scorpions before he's forced to recall. Theory is actually not turning around with his Scorpions. I don't know if that's the right choice. Is Vibe recalling with everything? Nope. Vibe's going to get the third here for hopefully not too many workers on his side. Just recall everything home right now. That's exactly what he does. He has lost a lot of workers. Sweet baby Jesus.
Yeah, he lost the full third. He's going to potentially lose the third. He's going to recall in here. The units are about to show up. In theory, just a moment too late on the King Crabs getting here with the Scorpions. King Crabs are going to put a lot of death splash damage onto these recalls. We're trying to target fire down the King Crabs. I mean, he is still going to keep the base up, but reinforcements are coming in from Theory as well. The last King Crab goes down. Now it's Scorpions versus the recalls. A new round of reinforcements, and I don't think Theory can get this base.
I think Vibe can hold. I kind of wish he would have spent his money a bit earlier. It felt that he was saving for King Crabs, but I think just spending every single penny you have on the Recallers would have been totally fine. Because going into King Crabs too early when your opponent has Destroyers too is risky. There may be only a single Destroyer out on the map, but that is -1 King Crab and -2 King Crabbies. They just disappear so quickly. I think pure Recall was the way here.
Yeah, I think just more. The recalls were trading well already, right? So there's almost no need to do anything different, as the recalls are going to clear cleanup though, so we're going to be there. The defense is there, and obviously up at base, the Rook is coming back online now. We're still going to try and get the base. Theory's got to keep diving for it, right? There's no choice here for him. He's not going to get it.
Hold the door. Hodor, Wardy, Hodor. He Hodors.
He does Hodor.
Tier 3, by the way, by Vibe. Heavy Ballista will be sick here. But yeah, I think it was a mistake of Vibe, because there was one point where he was clearly banking money to build King Crabs. It's like, mate, just keep on building Recallers. They are so freaking good. In the end, it was good. Now you do need to keep in mind that your base is very, very low on HP. I would like, for instance, one King Crab just to defend your natural right now. It is amazing to have a King Crab defensively right against these Scorpion drive-bys.
Yeah, can't do much on the third, but maybe if you can force a recall, then you wouldn't be... Yeah, maybe then you can do something. I mean, Vibe responds very late. He decides what he wants to do. Loses every worker on his natural location. And he's going to start losing that fight as well. So Theory making some plays and kind of keeping himself in what is a very tough situation. Of course, that tier 3 tech is coming in, and Vibe is banking so much money on that.
Rico.
Oh, the attempt for that base again, man. Theory is just like, he knows it's like one of his only ways.
Vibe playing this one well right now. Power Recallers are so strong. I feel like sometimes they're still a bit underrated in high numbers. There really is nothing wrong with them. And now Vibe has tier 3, and he goes for mass advanced blink rather than some heavy ballistas. Oh, I kind of expected a few heavy ballistas, but apparently mass advanced blink is what it is.
Okay. I mean, I feel like that at this point, then the units are probably just good enough to trade well, and they can actually do pretty cool against King Crabs as well. I think they can obviously do very well against the Scorpions, similar to how normal Blinks do very well. Here's Kai to target fire. You can trade great, and that's going to be game. And Vibe is going to fight back. We are not going to get the 4-0. We are going to have a fight on our hands.
Yep. And honestly, pretty strong by Vibe. I felt like he had a very good understanding of a lot of the fights. This time around, he didn't make a misclick early on. Believed in the blinks. Obviously, great hold at the third. It was so freaking close. Loved the body blocking, keeping that base safe. But I think there was a way to have a slightly easier hold there. Like, I think he was sitting at 1,000 minerals, 1,000 gas, I want to say. But it's not 1,000 minerals and gas. It's power and...
The other one. The red one.
I think he could have had 10 more recallers, because he had like 1k, and I think if you have 10 more recallers there, like King Crabs are scary, right? Because the splash damage, and if they truly get on top of your tier 1, you always feel like you're in a bit of trouble. But I think there was a more convincing way for Vibe to win that fight. But who cares? A win is a win. That's all that matters. He gets a point on the board, and he ain't done yet.
Ain't done yet. Let's see if we can make it 2. Start him mounting a real sick comeback. As we get this one going. I'm glad we see it, because like I said, I felt like Vibe was absolutely good enough to take games.
Yeah.
As the switch from Theory, he's gunbotting it now.
Ooh, I like that. I do love gunbots. But I think if you're Vibe, you just play pure recall here. Gunbots are good, but I wouldn't necessarily say that gunbot against recall is incredibly favorable for a gunbot. If you watch guys like Clem or Podding or Trigger, like they are very good in getting in and out of range with the gunbots over and over again, but it is hard, man. Because if you ever just stand around a little bit too long, recalls put up a really good fight against the gunbots.
Well, recalls will start moving forward. The gunbots want to be careful. They don't have great retreat potential without using the overclock, right? So,
yep.
Be careful.
There's so many moments as well where you overclock in and out of range, and then you use 2 charges, and suddenly you're taking a bad fight, and you realize you can't run home anymore.
Yeah. It's gotta be cautious.
This is already very good, by the way, for Vibe. Just forcing him to use 1 overclock in the middle of the map, because now if you use recall, you're going to use the second one already. Vibe can just disengage. Obviously, ideally want to trade out even here, but I like what Vibe is doing so far. I don't think it's bad at all.
Nope, I think it's absolutely spot on. I like what we're doing. As we have a couple Scorpions added in. I don't know if we necessarily need the Scorpions. I understand they're going to tank for the recalls, but I feel like they're also just going to get kited, so...
Yeah, I don't like it. I think pure recall is better, but... Maybe a run-by. If you want to go for some Scorpions as a run-by, it's fine.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. As we're going to see air tech from Vibe as Theory has decided to go Mortar and Destroyer. Putting a lot of damage out onto this base. I mean, 25% off it, off the gunbots alone is pretty decent. We're actually starting to get a couple of the recallers lower on HP, sniping 1 or 2 down. But we are getting to the point where surely these gunbots don't have overclocks anymore. Vibe does spawn in a few more recalls, but they're walking across, they're not recalling there. Not using the full power of his units as... Oh, there we go. Now the gunbots are in a little bit more trouble.
Yep, and this is also annoying as a gunbot player when not all of them can stim anymore, because then your army moves at a different speed or overclock. Not that much anti-air. Are we already building some anti-air? Nope, still just building pure gunbot, by the way. I hope for Theory that he has checked the tech of his opponent. Vibe now going up to 4 bases, as it seems like Theory is saving up, but I don't think that gunbots alone are going to cut it here.
Oh, I mean, he's going to obviously just build, Mortar, Destroyer push, but a couple Destroyers, a Destroyer, Mortar, and there's the blink on it. So he actually just built them, he was just waiting a little bit. So yeah, very low on the tech still. As you now see Vibe switching into the Foundry tech beyond this to start moving towards King Crabs. As the gunbot's got to back away. Here the Blink Hunters, they can maybe actually do a little bit of blinking forward to get rid of some of these, but obviously you don't want to lose too many because they are your anti-air. You can't give all that up in case of the Dragonfly effect.
But it's not like King Crabs are going to absolutely crush here, because Theory already has Mortars and Destroyers. I don't really understand that. Then I would have... Do you think that's a misclick? Do you think he meant to go tier 3 air, perhaps? Because I don't understand why we... This doesn't make any sense, no?
Yeah, I just don't think the King Crabs do anything, so yeah. But the Locusts actually could have been an interesting tier 3 tech as well. Like I say, they're very cheap units. They actually have an interest in place in terms of how they get used. And Theory going to have Dragonflies in the main base in a moment, so we'll start to take some damage. He's going to have one little gunbot going to force a recall top left, but that is a fact that Vibe is up base, right? As the advanced blinks now come in, so I imagine this is what Theory's been building for. As Vibe's just going to try and go tier 3 ground tech, but he's very likely going to lose a base in the process of getting there. As recall showing up on the natural, the Dragonflies are going to try and show up as well. A couple of advanced blinks trying to turn those around. The good thing for Theory is he's continued to go top left. He's not stopped on that push.
Maybe it's because Vibe saw Theory go tier 3 advanced blinks and he said, alright, I'm going to give up on air completely because that is not going to do it for me. As we use a big recall to the top left, but I don't think this is a fight that Vibe is going to win that easily. Maybe if he spends all his money right now and he sends in a few more reinforcements, it could be okay, but he needs more Wadi. He built some extra units, they are coming. I don't think that's quite enough. I actually think this is a great fight for Theory, and that means that Vibe is now officially in trouble.
Yeah, and the problem is these are tier 1 recalls and these are tier 3 blinkers, right? So you're just fighting. I mean, I know it looks like they're just kind of fairly standard units, but you got to admit they are respect that they are tier 3. They cost more, and so they are able to trade so well. So even though the army size looked okay for Vibe, the quality of army was not there at all. Heavy ballistas online. Yeah, can we dream?
Heavy ballista and a dream? I mean, heavy ballistas are very, very, very sick, but I don't know how many we can make. A 2-base full send of heavy ballista and advanced blinks. Here we go. Vibe with 64 supply against 150. The problem is there are still mortars as well, right? I think just mass mortars should always save the day here. A couple of destroys would be useful, but here come those extra mortars. Maybe heavy ballistas can just avoid them, drive into the natural, go straight for the main, but I think we're just going to see nothing but mortars from here on out.
Yep, we already just set them up, and this army's going to start getting surrounded, so then Vibe is not really going to have a good way to get out, right?
No, Vibe is stuck.
Yep. Can only get out
Vibe
by
is stuck
firing.
between a gunbot and a gunbot and a lot of advanced blinks, and I think that is going to do it, Wadi. It will be Theory who wins our 7th best of 7 of the night with a 4-1 score over his American fellow RTS passion nerd that is Vibe. Fun series, Theory, just overall looking a little bit sharper. It felt there was a lot of potential in a lot of these games for Vibe, but where Theory very rarely made the wrong choice, it felt that Vibe had a couple of missed opportunities.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, absolutely. I think Vibe took a little time to even settle down in the series a little bit. I feel like if you started the series from a game ago, Vibe wins the first one. We actually kind of go like a few more games in an overall best of 7, but those first couple of games were just such throwaways in some extents.
It is definitely hard to always take the right fight with the recallers and always get the recallers in the right spot immediately, but it felt that there was some more potential to be gained out of those. Vibe still battling though, he's going to try to make something out of it, but the supply does not really lie in this game either. Theory is maxed out, he can actually fire up some more tech now if he wants to. Vibe is wondering if he can find an opening somewhere, does find a single mortar, so he takes a great fight here in the top side. Alright, we're making it scrappy.
Making it scrappy. That's kind of what you got to do. You're going to lose the third base again. Those Theory's going up to a 4. Theory actually has all of his mortars still just figuring out where they want to be. His army may get a little bit stuck, but Blink down with the advanced blinks. The gunbot's just going to keep running. Going to activate once again. I mean, at this point, you can bring the mortars into the fight. Yeah.
That's the only way that you can lose this game, right? If you lose all your mortars or you take a fight when the mortars are not sieged, then Theory is going to lose a couple of them. Vibe definitely taking a good fight. Wow. He's just economically in so much trouble. I mean, he's done about as good as he could ever do here. He's going to blink forward. He's going to try to get the final mortars, but this is where he lacks 1 or 2 heavy ballistas. That really was a great fight by Vibe, but just a day late and $1 short. GG, congrats to Theory as he walks away with the 150 buckies and crowns himself the champ of this best of 7 show match against Vibe.
Beautiful stuff. And that means we only have 1 matchup left, mate.
It's gonna be a banger though.
Gonna be a banger, yeah. Demu versus Pappy. You played many games against Ben?
Say again?
Did you play many games against Ben?
I think he sniped me one time when I was playing. I got a message on Discord I saw later. He's like, haha, big dog, I'm gonna snipe you. I said, alright. And he got me, and I think one time I was just playing by myself and I actually ran into him. Ben won both games.
Yeah, he was pushed me. It's kind of sad.
What a guy, yeah.
The guy.
Calls himself a friend. Yeah. You get invited to his wedding, but before you know it, he does you dirty in Bad Oasis.
Yeah. Dude has wasps in a natural before anything else. Unbelievable.
Alright, his opponent though is damn good as well. We're gonna do Demu versus Papi, a best of 7. Demu, UK, Papi, Poland. Papi is of course a very good StarCraft 2 player as well. Around 6,000 something MMR Protoss that's been around for a little while. One of these guys that everybody in Europe knows is good Wadi, but hasn't quite ever made like that big splash on the RTS scene. I feel like Battle Aces could be the kind of game for him to maybe take his career to the next level. I played him early today. He was good. Felt like I had a good start, but apparently a good start, Wadi, is not enough.
Gotta have the follow-up, man. No messing around.
Right, I gotta swap over to Europe.
Oh yeah, Europe.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I already.
Yeah, I just made. I played Gunbots and Papi was playing with Blink, and I actually felt that I got myself very well set up. Just eventually, I got a bit eager. I thought he only sent a few Blinky boys to harass my 4th base, but it turned out he sent basically all of them. So I went in with my Gunbots, and even if Gunbots are quick, and normally you think you can get out of trouble, against Blink you can't get out of trouble because these guys are very good in realizing when they have a favorable fight, and then they blink forward immediately on top of your units, and then you're committed to a fight you really did not want to take.
Well, the guys are ready. I think we're ready. So we're going to kick off into our final best of 7 for today. And then tomorrow we're going to come back and do it all again, only with community.
Less skilled players. At least some of us. Maybe not everybody, guys, but some of us are going to be a little bit less skilled tomorrow. Here we go. It's been a beautiful day of Battle Aces as Papi is going to be spicy here. Look at this, Wadi. 1 base stack. It's a Blink opening. Destroy is King Crab. As Benny is playing Scorpions, and he's got King Crabs and Destroyers as well. So here we go.
Here we go. Been here before. It's interesting to kind of go for the aggression with the blink, and I love this. They're both just streaming on their own side of the map from one side to the other. I mean, Demu's just going to come in, and I feel like he almost got a shock where he's like, there's no base. He turned around for a second, and no, he is now going to go jump onto some of the blinks on the other side. Pappy lets a blink die as he's, I guess, busy back at home. And Demu starts up the tech of his own, and that's what this is all about. Getting that tech going ASAP once you've expanded, and just trying to hold on to get your own tech units out.
Yep, every single Blinky boy is incredibly important, obviously. And as they are expensive, and with a one-base economy, you really don't have that much income. I bet Ben is a bit confused by what on earth is he throwing. So instead, I feel like Papi just wants to do the same thing as Vibe did, right? I don't think Papi thinks he's going to beat Ben here. Ben is in Demu, as Demu is obviously always going to be able to live. But if Papi can just take out the base and take the game from there, he's probably happy. Ben is trying to buy some time with the Scorpions, but this is risky.
Oh, yeah, well, I mean, anytime those King Crabs turn around for half a second, that's a win, right? Like, any little bit of time you buy, but yeah, I think at the very least this base dies, and Papi will know that he can get that. Ben makes a few more Scorpions. He's going to try and threaten the attack onto this, but Papi's not going to fall for it.
Already expanding, by the way.
Yep, correct move. So now he's just going to get an expansion up, and David can make a couple units, but he actually just needs to instantly re-expand as well.
Yep, so this is a bit similar to what we just had between Vibe and Theory, obviously slightly different units, as Vibe did not have the blink guys. But what I would have loved to see from Vibe was, instead of that second wave where he donated everything into the main, maybe try to see if he can play 2-base tier 3 heavy ballista. And I wonder if Papi is going to go down that route.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. Obviously, both players currently have access to the same tech units. It's a question of who can get more. I do think the Blinks trade a little bit better against those Scorpions, of course, and they can pretty much do this, where you kite across the map, so more value to be had there. As Demu is going to lose a King Crab.
Yeah, but he got a couple good hits off there, though. I feel like that wasn't even that bad.
A couple of the Destroyers obviously going to be massive against the King Crabs as well, as we try and push down the left-hand side. So moving down, obviously the Destroyers are going to try and stay out of reach of any trouble, and then get involved on the King Crabs only, as we do see Destroyers putting the work in, but Demu just does not have as many King Crabs as his opponent. The blink on top of the Destroyers is great, and that enables the King Crabs to continue fighting here, and that is going to be Papi winning out this fight, and now chasing down, and definitely coming out in a better situation as two bases are up on both sides of the map.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Demu went for that fight there. I feel like he went in really deep, but it was 2 base against 2 base. They have the exact same tier 2 units available, as now there's a couple of Destroyers in the mix as well. Nice blink there by Papi. It just felt that the blink guys were always going to reign supreme there, because you can blink forward and get on top of these Destroyers. And Papi didn't even take the best fight there, eh? Because he blinked forward and he got a Destroyer down to 10 HP, but he wasn't quite able to kill it, and he still, in the end, won pretty convincingly. Because the numbers were just too even. The units were too even, the numbers were too even. Then I think defender's advantage reigns supreme. Ben now in a tiny bit of trouble. Damn what it is he's trying to go for a run by. That means that these units are kind of stuck. These are not run bys you can make too often, because the Blinks guys are so mobile.
Yup. This is going to be seeing that Blink's coming about. A couple of King Crab. He's going to turn back around. He's going to be seeing game going to get called, and that is Papi taking the 1-0 lead. I love his composition against what Ben has, though, right? Like, I feel like the Blinks are so good against King Crabs and Destroyers and against Scorpions. I wonder if Demu goes for any changes now.
I think there is just slightly more potential there in the army of Papi than there is in the army of Demu. However, Demu did not have to commit to that fight. Like, sure, Papi killed his expand and then expanded a little bit quicker, but do those few seconds quicker expand means that now Demu is just out of options, and he needs to fight next to the immediate reinforcements of his opponent on the other side of the map. Like, I don't think it was quite that drastic. So maybe, yeah, we'll see. I mean, Demu is very comfortable with the recallers as well, so there's a good chance he's just gonna switch it up altogether. But strong first game by Papi, but I also felt that Demu handed that one to him a little bit.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens going into game 2. We'll see if there's any significant deck changes or anything like that. And obviously, do you think Papi can get away with 1 base and straight away again? I feel like that's the sort of thing that you adapt to, but it was a pretty smooth process to kind of net him an advantage, and he's just going to send it.
He is going to do it once more, as Demu has not switched things up, so we are again looking at Scorpions. Yeah, it does seem that you get a guaranteed kill on the expand. Maybe Demu is just okay with that, and he feels that he can get a favorable trade elsewhere. And yeah, maybe he will just look back at that previous game and says, man, I threw it when I attacked the natural of my opponent, when the armies were incredibly even. And if anything, you've got defender's advantage and you've got the micro advantage with the blinkers. Yeah, maybe that's where Ben just felt it went wrong.
Yep. Well, we are going to see the blinks. A couple of them heading up that right side. The Scorpions already been quite aggressive here, trying to push on forward. Just going to see our blinks firing, and we're going to see a couple of those Scorps already honestly in trouble. I feel like this is a sort of fight which blinks really do not mind taking, because they can just get that distance, you build a few more, and the numbers so quickly escalate in your favor as the blink player.
Yep, I don't really understand this. I mean, Demo is going to go for 2 base air, and he will have Falcons, he will have Mammoths, so it's very strong tier 2 Starforge, but that was not a good trade at all. It lost a lot of Scorpions. And if you're playing against the 1 base opening of your opponent, and obviously if it's air, this time Papi might just go for the main, right? What's stopping him? He doesn't have to worry about those destroyers popping out and one-shotting his king crabs.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, I guess maybe you're worried about the Falcons having a similar effect, but we're just going to go play it safe and get the natural initially.
I think you keep going here. I actually think you absolutely keep going here. Yep. And Papi seems to agree. Damu is just in so much trouble here. Yep. He is in all sorts of trouble. He's about to lose so many workers in his main base, if not all of them, before those Falcons even really come out. I'm afraid this is game-ending damage.
You just can't. You've got no economy. Gonna have 6 workers left. It's not exactly ideal. That's game. Happy 2-0.
Wow, that's definitely, I think, surprising, right? Because people have seen Damu streaming this game. Damu was, I think, the 5th highest ranked player on the leaderboards. Has looked damn good. Maybe he didn't get the patch notes memo that Scorpions have lost a bit of their HP. Because I think especially that Scorpion donation in the main. Or perhaps Damu is just very unfamiliar with playing against 1 base stack openings. This is another Damu that I've seen streaming this game over the last few days. And yeah, strong performance so far by Papi, our Polish player. And Demo, we know that he can step it up, but he's absolutely going to have to step it up.
Yeah, gotta switch it up right now and figure out what he's going to do about these 1 bases. What if he just 1 base techs himself? Like if he waits like a second, sees the 1 base, boom, 1 bases himself. And then
I mean, I would love to see recallers, because I think Ben is incredibly good with recall. But I also believe there is potential for him to play a very similar style to Papi here with Scorpions. But I do think Blink against Scorpions is maybe a slightly favorable matchup for the Blinkers.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, but I don't think that's where it went wrong, right? It wasn't like, oh, Ben had Scorpions and he couldn't do anything. Like, he was donating Scorpions against a 1 base Blink opening. That's kind of wild.
Yeah, no, the start of this game was not it. There's plain and simple what it comes down to. As,
wow, what?
now Ben goes, has his Blink, and he's going to go his own 1 base against recallers.
So he goes Blink, King Crab, 1 base. I mean, I believe in the power of the recallers here. That's what I was basically saying in the previous series in 5 Theory. I really think if you just build pure recall here for a while, you can go 2 base air and then just spam recallers for as long as you can. I like this for Papi, and I'm starting to get very, very worried here for Demu, who is playing these games from a land somewhere in Norway, I believe. Maybe he's in Hamar. I don't know where he is. But I don't like where this is going for Demu at all.
Nope, I feel like now he's... I feel like he's almost like, I see what you're doing. I'm going to do that too. But I feel like Papi's answer to it is already looking better. I guess we'll see how it pans out as Blinks would love to get a few free shots off on the recalls, if possible.
I mean, Papi has just gone for 2 base Foundry. Obviously, totally fine, as he's going to be able to build destroyers. If Ben just settles for taking out that natural and then obviously he goes home and expands himself, then it's all right. If he tries to get more than that, he is in so much trouble.
Yep. Yeah, it needs to be this hit the natural, break that down, then go from there. I love these recalls kind of coming forward and getting a few shots off, but they actually did take a few hits as well. And see what they can do is they got to be careful because the Blink obviously can close the distance very easily. King Crabs are going to try and threaten them as well. We get rid of 1 King Crab. Going to Blink forward to protect the 2nd King Crab, and a lot of recall is going down. And this is going to be a good fight. We're going to get rid of a lot of recalls. Obviously, we're saving up money as Papi. His own tech is about to come online. What's he going to build? He's got to be careful. It's going to be a mortar. Instantly sieges. The Blinks get away. Obviously, the base goes down. Demu has himself a natural on the way up. The problem is Papi can't really re-expand super quickly because he's got to get a mortar over there. And I actually think this was overall decent for Demu. He gets out with a lot of his units.
Hear me out. If you would have been Papi here and you would have just expanded, but then only spam recall, do you think you'd be in trouble? Like, don't
No,
tech?
because you saw how close he was to knocking down King. He was already knocking down King Crabs with the recalls he had, right?
Yeah.
So I actually think if he just has pure recalls, maybe recalls can just hold this by like... you got to get rid of the King Crabs, right? But I actually think he would have been okay. What do you think if he just doesn't tech at all, or like he stops?
Yeah,
the tech?
like as long as you see your opponent is only teching on one base and doesn't have an expand, that you don't have to tech yet, and you just wait and you spend all your money on recallers.
Yeah, no, I actually think it could be. It'd be very interesting to figure out. This one base meta is going to be fascinating to see. I like Demu instantly third base as well, recognizes he can just keep on expanding. He has map control right now, he is not wrong. What he does need to stop is these mortars getting across the map. I do not love anything that Demu has against the mortars, really.
No, but I think if you have enough Blink, enough King Krabbies, I think you can get the top of them. And the problem with your King Krabbies is that they just melt against the Destroyers, right? And if it's just Blink, yeah, then they could actually get absolutely blasted by the Mortars. This is not going to be that easy. Oh, that's a forward Blink. I hope for Ben that's the correct call, but I don't know if that's the correct call. He only gets like one?
Got one, yeah.
That's not enough, Waddy. That is not enough.
No, that was not at all. He's trying to go into the air tech, by the way. Falcons and Mammoth's going to be unlocked. The Mammoths we've seen have been amazing against the mortars, but... well, this is going to be a dead base, but counter-attack with some blinks right now. Ben is just trying to save up, I guess, for the Mammoths, right? There's a couple of mortars trying to siege. We're actually pretty undefended in some of these locations. We're starting to build Blink Hunters as Pappy because he realizes there is a threat of Falcons, even if Mammoths are the likely outcome. We've got to kind of respect that as we blink on this mortar again, but the other mortar is back there, and... yeah, we're going to recall to just guarantee this defense in the end.
Blink against Blink Hunter. Overall, I like it for Papi. I mean, 81 supply against 47. What has Ben spending his money on? He's going to go for a lot of Falcons. I mean, the power of the Falcon has been very well discussed, right? Everywhere you go, people talk about how strong Falcons are against Tier 1 NTR. But there is a point where you just have enough Tier 1 NTR that even Falcons won't cut it. And Ben has not re-expanded. The demo is just full going for it. He's going to try to either deal devastating damage or straight up win the game with 2-base Falcon. And I don't think it's going to happen. I think there is already enough NTR on the side of Papi.
The thing is, as well, is that these Falcons are supported by the Blinks, right? So I don't feel like the Blinks are going to stop the Blink Hunters from getting on top of the Falcons like some of the other situations are. And
yeah, like
Pappy
Scorpions on the ground and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So I just don't feel like you have that stopping power that you might be looking for. I was just going to go for another Falcon here. Important that we target fire them. You do not want to just spread your damage too much against these. I mean, they're still doing okay. There's more coming across the map. I mean, this is just a question mark, right? Can we get enough anti-air up? If you can't,
they might actually have done perfectly fine, because Ben has temporarily taken out all the workers at the third base. So even if it's 3 base against 2, it's 2 base eco against 2 base eco. And if it's 2 base eco against 2 base eco, that's when Tier 1 NTR really struggles in dealing with Falcons. But it did seem that Papi took a great fight on the left side. But obviously he had to donate a bunch of units in the center of the map as well to distract Demu. Now he's got that 3 base advantage. Demu down 0-2 in the series. Can the Falcons carry, or is there just too much NTR at this point?
I think we lost too many Falcons. If these Falcons team up with the other Falcons, it's super scary now. Not quite so much. It's just mortar shot is scary there as well. And again, as Pappy, you can just sit back. You do not have to rush into this. You can just take it easy because you know your opponent is working on less economy. Now your third base economy is here as well, so you are just building that many more Blink Hunters every single second. I like the Falcons' positioning. They're in the right place to try and get something done here. Try and deny some of the workers, trying to even up the economy a little bit. But yeah, there's all the Blink Hunters, and as they blink in, they are just in such good range to one-shot.
Well, I do like a couple of Mammoths, by the way, on the ground by Ben, as he does lead the charge with the Blink. Maybe we could have waited just a couple of seconds, right, for those Mammoths to absorb 1 or 2 of the shots of the Mortars. Another forward Blink by all those Blink Hunters. As Papi realizes that he's got a demo right where he wants him. Nice turnaround here by Demo, as he once more takes out almost all the workers. He's even going to get a couple of these Mortars in the center, and this is where it maybe becomes harder to blink forward for these Blink Hunters. Is it still Demo?
We're going to find out as we just go blinking in. The Falcons are getting killed pretty quickly. We do have some Destroyers here. They're going to be great against the Mammoths, as we talked about earlier.
Wow.
And that is going to be a good defense in the end from Pappy. Good moves from Demu. I feel like he moved his army around in the right way to give himself a chance. And to make that as scary as possible, just wasn't enough.
Yeah. Looked promising there for a split second with the Mammoths coming up. But yeah, those Mammoths, even though they're mega tanky, they just don't really take out the Blink Hunters that quickly. That means that Poppy has taken a 3-0 lead over Demo. I would say out of all the results today, that's the most surprising one so far for me, Waddy. I did absolutely not expect that. But it's a best of 7. And Demo perhaps does his best work when he's down. The man has a crazy amount of experience in Warcraft 3, in StarCraft 2, in Age of Empires. He's been around the block. He's been there, he's done that. We know that he's got the skills to potentially turn this around. But what a showing so far by Poppy. Very, very impressive.
Yeah, just really showing some good understanding. Good mix-up as well. Obviously went from 1 base into then 2 base and able to kind of make it work for himself. It's been a cool series as we get ready for game number 4, and we'll see if there's any major changes that can perhaps swing this in Demi's favor as well. Maybe he feels like he has to resort to a deck change. Let's see what we get as we will expand versus 1 base tech again. Pappy is back at it with the blinks.
And Demo goes back to the Scorpions. I am so shocked not to see Ben play Recallers today, because I feel like that's what he looked amazing with on his own stream, and I felt that that's how he climbed the ladder and he got himself way up on that leaderboard. But not a single recall game coming out of Demo today. Yeah, this is probably going to be very similar, right, where Papi takes out the expand and then goes home and expands himself.
Yeah, I feel like that's almost always netting you an advantage. Ben does go Crusaders instead of King Crabs, so it's a little bit of a change there. Crusaders are very tanky, but against Destroyers, I'm not sure they're necessarily going to live that long.
No. I don't like these fights either when it's... Why are we attacking with Scorpions on the other side of the map against the unit that has the most early game micro? Yeah, it feels that Ben is just still living in the era of I can build as many Scorpions as I want and they never die, but Scorpions did get nerfed a little bit. That patch went live, and Scorpions still good, obviously, but we can't be that reckless with them. I think Demo is in trouble, Waddy, but let's see how this early game plays out. I do like the early addition of some range units, but I don't know if that's going to be enough. I mean, look at all those King Krabbies storming to the other side of the map.
Yeah, can these Blink Hunters, they just don't do that much against the King Crabs. It takes so many shots. We'll see. I think our Blinks want to try and get involved in this as well. This is an interesting question mark, though, right? What do you go for? Do you guarantee the base kill, or do you chase down that army still? Looks like we're just going to turn onto the base.
By the way. So Ben's idea was basically what we were discussing earlier. Just spend all your money on tier 1 units. And we were talking about it when it came to recallers. Well, this may have not been that bad, to be fair, right? We have a lot of Scorpions left over. We have a lot of Blink Hunters, even though there is no air to worry about. But at least those are units that can blink. They have some micro potential. And it's not like Papi's expand is now a whole lot quicker than the expand of Demo. But Demo does need to attack in the near future. And he attacks now and he goes Crusader Destroyer.
I was going to say that's the one thing, right? It's like the one thing that I guess Demo has is that he's got the power of an army coming across the map right now. And can he trade here? As a couple King Crabs come up, we're going to go blinking forwards. The King Crabs are going to come around, get blocked by their own Blinks, though. The problem is it's Blink Hunters versus Blinks, and obviously Blink Hunters are made as anti-air units in mind, not necessarily to fight ground on ground, and that's where they're just going to get outmatched a little bit. So the numbers advantage didn't matter there, and now Papi's had a faster base, and he's going to end up with a... I guess not too much of a faster base, but he is going to end up with attacks already online, a couple of King Crabs already out, and equal money in the bank, more or less. So
I like the idea of Ben of trying to defend the 1 base opening like that, where yes, you expand, but you don't blindly tech. So you have a few extra units to work with. Yeah, he's working basically with anti-air units, and anti-air units trying to take care of the Blink and the King Crabs. This is difficult.
Yeah, well, there's going to be the heavy ballistas on the way. They're about halfway ready to be built, so that's going to be Papi's choice to go further tech rather than expanding. We see Demo on that expansion now in the front, so that's going to be where he has to try and find a defense. So we'll see if that's going to be good enough with some Crusader Destroyer action as well. Obviously, he's pushing right now.
Demo doesn't really have real damage in his army. Like, if a bunch of heavy ballistas come out, it just feels like they're going to be amazing against everything. And sure, Crusaders are tanky, but just you don't win a fight just by having a lot of tanky stuff.
Yep. Agree on that one, as we do see, obviously, Papi is aware of where this army is. First heavy ballistas are rolling out. There's a couple of destroyers mixed in there as well, because he wants to make sure he can get rid of the frontline tankiness of those Crusaders. As, the Destroyer
I
fight is
don't
going to be
see
a
the
big part of
damage,
this. Yeah, me neither. And also the Blinks could actually just get rid of that Destroyer right here. Before it can really do anything at all, it does just about get away. Heavy Ballistas, again, going to be very big in this. 3 of them and ready to go. The first Crusader gets absolutely melted. We're now going to blink in after. That's a Destroyer, that's a Crusader, and Pappy on the chase with a 30 supply lead.
Papi has played a stunning best of 7. I would say the biggest surprise of the day, Wadi. I kind of thought this was going to be competitive, but I still favored Demu a little coming into it. But it is the man from Poland who said goodbye to his Zealots and his Blink Stalkers and said hello to his new Blinky friends here as he has stacked up to tier 3 with heavy ballistas. And Demu's army can't cut it here. GG gets called. At least I imagine so, because Ben is a gentleman and he always GG's. And our final best of 7 comes to an end, and it's Papi 4-0 Demu. Damn.
What a result, man. I did not expect that one. Out of all the results we had today, that was the upset, especially scoreline-wise.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Demu struggling a little bit. Maybe he's just all out thinking of his Age of Empires tournament at the moment. But yeah, surprised not to see any recall play coming out of Demu. Surprised to see some of the decisions that he's gone for with the Scorpions. That did obviously get nerfed a little bit. But yeah, my biggest surprise is that we didn't see him play recall, because I feel like he's damn good with it. And I think recall against Blink is fun, looks interesting. I'm sure we'll see a much stronger, a much better Demu next time. But all kudos to Papi, man. He played a stunning best of 7, and defeating someone like Demu 4-0, incredibly impressive.
Yeah, no, it's a stunning result as that wraps up our first day of this event that we're going to be doing, because this was the Pro Day, Roddy. Tomorrow we have the Community Day of 8 best of 7s. Want to talk a bit about it? Want to share the deets?
Well, I don't know if we can share all the details yet, but there will be a channel in the official Battle Aces Discord. And if you guys go to the website, www.playbattleaces.com, you guys should see a way to join the Discord, right? Where is that exactly? Do you know where that is?
Probably on...
There is a way somewhere. Ah, here we go. So if you guys join the official Battle Aces Discord, there will be a channel where you guys can sign up tomorrow. Now, I assume that a lot of people would like to play. We have 8 players, community members, streamers lined up to play against 8 members from the Battle Aces Discord. We'll obviously take a little look at the level of the people that we send out, and then we'll select somebody who's somewhat close, either a bit higher or a bit lower. It's going to be the same rules as today, so it's an amazing opportunity. $150 if you win the best of 7, $50 if you lose the best of 7. And I guess we could talk a little bit about the 8 members that will represent us. Not quite the pros, but the streamers, the casters, the community members. Marty, do you want to reveal the names?
Do I want to reveal the names?
Yeah.
I can reveal the names if you'd like me to. So tomorrow we're going to have the legendary Rotterdam and the legendary Wardy, but we're actually going to be joined by some real legends such as Indy, who's been hosting all the games for us today, Liquid's Mana, who is obviously going to be a tough opponent for whoever gets him, Marmello, who's been streaming a whole bunch, Sturgeon, who is very good, KJ, who is a big community member around StarCraft for a very long time and other RTS, and Albino as well. So those are the guys you can have a chance to play against tomorrow, and we'll have 8 different best of 7s. So if you want to get involved, I think we're going to open the channel on the Discord like a couple of hours before the stream, so people can start writing, and I don't know how you're going to select them, Roddy, but good luck.
Well, I don't really know. We're going to do that together, right? We're just going to take a little look at it. And we know that Albino is very good. We know Sturgeon is very good. We know Albino is very good. It's just that I obviously wanted to show a lot of love to everybody, but we cannot invite like 100 people. So we'll select somebody else that is very strong. I mean, there are plenty of very strong players out there that did not play today. So we'll get a very strong opponent for Albino. You guys don't have to worry about it. We're not going to let Albino play against somebody who's still stuck in the proving grounds. No need to panic. But we'll obviously select, like, that's the idea, that we have a couple of very strong players tomorrow. We have a couple of mid players and a few weaker players. And yeah, we're just going to select some lucky players that sign up, that are active in the Discord and say that they want to play. And they have an opportunity to win some money and put on a good show.
Yeah, no, it's going to be fun, man. Good chance for the community to get involved, come play. It's, yeah, it's going to be a good time. I'm excited for it.
It is all good, matey. I had a lot of fun today. Voice is hurting a little bit, but I thought it was awesome. In the beginning, it was like a little bit overwhelming almost, because like, my camera doesn't move how it used. And I'm trying to press all these keys like D, Z, I, and none of it works. And I'm like, oh my god. But I feel like we saw some great games. I mean, we still got to give it to Conqueror and Boanan, right, for best series of the day.
Absolutely, that was series of the day by a long shot. Absolutely incredible stuff. If you missed the matches and you want to catch one, go watch that one because that was just amazing. It was just great stuff. Could not ask for anything more than that.
Yeah. All right, matey. I guess we can end the call. You
Yeah.
can say goodbye to your people. I'll say goodbye to mine. Any
tomorrow,
final
mate.
words?
No, I'm just excited for tomorrow, man. See you there.
I'm excited to cast you, Waddy.
Oh yeah. Oh god.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to
All right.
practice.
Good night, mate. Thanks for hanging out. It was great fun.
Yeah, you too, mate. Bye.
Bye.
Hi guys, I had a long ass day. I'm coming up to 8 hours on the stream, so I'm just gonna love you and leave you. I'm actually just gonna find someone to raid straight away. We will raid. I'm not even gonna run ads. How about that? I'm just ready to tap out for the night. So I'm gonna go and raid Vibe, who is live. So I'll send you guys over to Vibe. You guys have a great rest of your day. I appreciate you all, and I'll see you guys next time. You guys have a good one. Bye. Oh, I just tried to /aid Vibe instead of /raid Vibe. Alright, see you guys later. Bye bye.